Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. It is Friday, September 8th, 2023, man. It is your guy, Scott, and we are back for I'm Not Gonna Hold You. Y'all know to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarberChairScott. You know to follow the Barbers Chair Network at Barbers Chair Net on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe to the Patreon right now, man. We appreciate everybody who subscribes. Patreon.com/Barbers Chair Network, man. We have got a nice schedule lined up for y'all, man. We're gonna take a look at this little rundown for y'all of what we've got on deck for the afternoon. So we're doing 2 hours today, of course, the regular show format. Last week was just a preview episode. So in the first hour, we're going to be doing all this, but we got to catch up, sound off, man. I got a sound off on Deion Sanders, prime time, everybody, all that stuff going on in Colorado. We're going to talk about Chiefs Lions. We're going to talk about which QB is under pressure. We got Nick Bosa and Joe Burrow who got new deals. We'll go over that. Then we'll have week 1 picks and odds. Mikey will have your gambling odds. And then we'll have my Goofy Mug of the week for that. And then after that, we'll have the local hour. We'll show y'all the local hour rundown later on. So that's what we've got for today. But let's get the rest of the crew up in here, man. All the people here. First of all, we just want to give our love and support to our guy JR Bang, who could not join us today. He had a family emergency, man. So we're gonna keep Bang and his family in our prayers, man. But we've got Dante in the house. Dante Miles, the president of Barbers Chair Network, fresh off the jet from last night's event. He has his phone on he has his mic on mute right now. But he's here right now.
Hey, you know, producing is a tough job, brother. So
yes, it is.
I'm doing a lot right now. But,
he's doing a lot right now. He's doing a lot.
Good to be back, man.
Hungover. He's back. We've got the one and only Mikey in the building. Mikey, what's going on, bro?
Chilling, man. It's Packer week.
Packer week. He's all together. He's dressed like an offensive lineman. We've got the homegirl Kurt Courtney in the house. Courtney, what is going on?
Oh, you know, just living the dream, ready to sit on my couch and watch football, especially ready for 7 hours of commercial-free football on Sunday.
And that is the best part. That is the best part. I am looking forward to that. I'm glad the Bears have the late game, so I can at least watch a little bit of red zone if I get up out of here, man. But let's start with the catch up, man, for everybody. This is a new segment we're adding to the show. I don't know what's going on with me today, but we adding to the show. Basically, we're gonna catch up on everybody's been on. So what's been going on? I know yesterday we had the Barbers Chair Network kickoff event. Shout out to everybody who came through. Shout out to the great folks over at Haymarket Pub and Brewery. We appreciate everybody over there, man. We had a great time. I had a little Kendall Roy moment while I led the crowd in a fuck Green Bay, which was amazing. Shout out to our ticket winner, Antoine Page. He won the Chicago Bears 2 tickets for a season this year. So shout out to him. Shout out to everybody, man. We've got some extra t-shirts that I will be putting up on the Second Night the Hallis page probably on Monday. Got a lot of stuff going on today, but stay in tune for that so we can get y'all some shirts if y'all want to cop more. So, but what's going on, everybody else? What's been going on? What y'all got lined up for this upcoming weekend?
This weekend, I mean, I'm actually headed out to DC. Morehouse is playing Howard. It's gonna be a night game, so it's gonna be solid. Get out there. I'll probably play golf in the morning and then just go tailgate. So that's gonna be a good day. Nothing in and out, you know, nothing crazy. But
Dante got a rich nigga schedule. Yeah, Dante got a
living a life, living a life and shit.
I'll be chilling.
Chicago Thursday, ATL Friday, Saturday,
DC on Saturday.
Hey man, hey, when you work hard, you gotta enjoy it. So
hey, y'all
great work
hiring. Y'all hiring.
We always. That's one thing I will say. We always hiring, bro. Just let me know.
I'm just chilling, man. I'm getting ready for a nice weekend. It's probably the only weekend. No, it's this weekend, and then in a couple of weeks, it's the only weekend I got off. You know, so I'm chilling, man. Getting ready to Saturday. I'm gonna give time to my girl. Saturday, she gets she gets all my love and attention. We're gonna do whatever she wants, sushi, shopping, whatever. Sunday, she gotta.
You gonna be like the T.I. You can do whatever you like video?
Yes. Sunday, get the fuck out. I'm single.
Courtney, what's going on with you?
I'm going to the lake tomorrow. Never done that in Texas. I will not be getting in that water, just to confirm. We got the Bama Texas game tomorrow night, so I gotta make it.
Roll damn tide. Roll tide.
Roll tide, horns down. You know the vibes. Sunday, I got football. That's my plan. I might step out of the house and be rocking the Randall Cunningham Eagles jersey. All across Dallas, very upset.
Heat. Yeah, get them Cowboys fans pissed off. I love pissing off Cowboy fans. I mean, for me, I'm hitting the town tonight. Tomorrow, I had something to do. I was gonna shoot. By the way, I'm not gonna hold you video coming soon. I'm doing some dope shit. Shout out my man, the boy Illinois, who does the intro that you hear every time. We actually work on a legit video that you will see at the beginning of each and every show. So we were gonna shoot that yesterday. We're gonna do it next Saturday because my brother he wanted a specific camera to use, and I don't get in the way of directors when they want certain equipment to use. So I'm like, all right, cool, so we'll wait to do that next week. And then Sunday is Bears Packers, man. Of course, it's first game of the season, so it's an all day thing. So I will be at Soldier Field from like noon to about probably 8 p.m. on Sunday. So my entire Sunday is shot. So, and then of course we'll be right back for y'all on Monday with our first Monday show. So that's pretty much what I got going on this weekend, man. But let's just get right into it. We're gonna start off with the sound off. Now, for everybody who knows, the sound off is where I sound off for a couple minutes on specific topics in the sports world, and we're going to do this a little differently this year because, of course, it's a group effort. So, basically, I'm going to give my sound off. Same thing with Goofy Mog of the Week. I'll give my sound off. I'll give my Goofy Mog of the Week, and then I will give it to my esteemed co-host, and they let me know if I'm tweaking or not. So, we're going to start off with my sound off for this week on Deion Sanders, Coach Prime. I'm a big, massive fan of Deion Sanders. I've been a fan of Deion since I was a little kid. Like, if y'all want to know how big of a fan I was, I had the Deion Sanders Baltimore Ravens jersey. So, nobody can question my prime time. Exactly. He had 5 interceptions last year. That year though. Let's give some respect to Prime. He had 5 picks that year. I had the 37 Baltimore Ravens. Of course, I had the Cowboys. I was a big fan. I watched the game last week. Very, very entertaining game. Y'all know I'm not big on college sports at all. Mike even hit me in the text like, "Are you fucking watching college sports?" So, right. But it was an entertaining game. Shador, Travis, they all had great games, man. But what I want to talk about really isn't the game because that's almost a week old at this point. They're getting ready to play Nebraska tomorrow at home in Boulder. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a nice crowd. It's going to be a stupid crowd coming off that big win. My thing I want to talk about is the media reception, man. And there's a lot of people in the media space. And we have a lot of this going on in the group chat. And I have to be the political one a lot of times because I work with these people. So I'm not going to name names, but there was a couple people on here where I feel like we're acting like hall monitors, man. And the thing to me is whatever you feel about Deion one way or another, Prime is himself. Prime has not changed. He's the same Prime he's been literally my entire life. He got drafted when I was like not even 1 year old yet. So Prime Time has been this guy forever. And I don't know why people thought he would change by coaching. We could sit up here and think about, maybe he'll change this stuff because of this. No, that's just how Prime is. And I think you got to respect it. Now, the outcry from some media was, oh, well, it's not our job as the media to be biased or to pick sides. Nobody's telling y'all to pick sides. You can say what you want to say and pick whatever sides you want to pick. But when players and athletes and coaches decide to call you out, and Prime just happens to be both. Not only he's not just a regular athlete, he's one of the greatest athletes of all time. When you have that situation, he's going to call you out. So you have a situation where you're saying, oh, he's being lame about it. I think at the end of the day, it's a lot of people in the media spectrum who are lame. Let's just keep it real. A lot of y'all got tossed and locker energy, man. And to me, the thing is like, yeah, there's going to be a games we're going to lose. I'm not saying that Colorado is going to go off. They're going to have a great season. They're going to win a bowl game. They're going to be, in the top polls, whatever. I'm not saying all that, but this is a big game. This is a big win over a team that was just in the national championship just a couple months ago. And now we're always doing why are they acting like they're celebrating everything? And I just feel like all of it is lame to me. And it's like, let Prime cook, man. If you're wrong, you got to be able to come to the table and take it on the chin when you're wrong about something. And Deion's not lame for calling you out on that. Some people want to be super cool and want to and say maybe he's seeking for validation. just the thing about the biggest problem for me with media being on the other side is they don't like being called out. We can call out players and athletes and coaches all day long, and there's no issue. They have to deal with it. But when the shoe is on the other foot, then it's a problem, man. So I just want to say, let Deion cook, and if he loses, one thing about Prime, he gonna wear that too. So, what y'all think about the whole primetime situation?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because, everybody had comments about, the way he turned over the roster, the way he used the transfer portal and things like that. But he showed you, everybody hasn't used it the same way. TCU had several players that had just transferred in as well. Everybody uses it, but for some reason with Prime, because he was open and honest with the kids, which a lot of coaches aren't, he came in and just flat out said, yo, hey, a lot of y'all not gonna be here. A lot of people just haven't, agreed with the way he did it. But he's showing you, he has a plan, and he so far, like you said, first week, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect the victory, like you said, but everybody in the media didn't either. Everybody, thought TCU was gonna blow them out. 21 points was a spread, so even the bookmakers thought it was gonna be an ugly game, and he came out and completely proved us wrong. So, like you said, with the media, a lot of these guys, they want to talk down to people. They want to be able to tell you what you did wrong, and how you should do your job. But when things like this happen, like you said, you got to wear it. So, I don't think Deion's tweaking. I don't think you tweaking either. That's just the way it is. It's like, if you wrong, bro. And people got to wear that.
Yep.
No, I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, I think I agree. It's a lot of stuffed in the locker mentality ass motherfuckers out there, especially in the media, and a lot of people are threatened. People are threatened by people who are confident, who are vocal, and this is a changing of the guard. There's a lot of old guard mentality, whether that's in the corporate workplace, whether that's in professional sports. It's, that's not the way it was done. I mean, we can get into this conversation about just off of how NFL coaches go off preseason, about starting rookie quarterbacks. We can go on and on about the different shift in mentality. But the number one thing is those kids follow Deion and they believe in their coach. That's all you want. If they were my kids and they were going to school, I would want my kid to go play for a motherfucker who is not going to sugarcoat my son or my daughter, who is not going to, obviously within the realms of, keeping it respectful, don't put your hands on my kids, but who's going to lead them, because life is not easy. Not all of those kids are going to end up going and play and reach the next level. But what Deion is instilling, the confidence, the believing in what you stand for, the knowing that people are going to doubt you, and, it's only on you to go and prove people wrong. That shit applies to all walks of life. Whether you're a teacher, whether you're a janitor, in any aspect of life, those are traits. Those are character building traits. So I just find it funny. I don't really find it funny. We know what it is. We know there's a lot of racist undertones as to how the media, a lot of coaches, how people feel about Deion. But like Dante said, they told you what they think of Colorado. They were a 21-point underdog. That's 3 touchdowns.
21, dog.
21-point underdog.
It should not have been, honestly, even. I don't know how you could look, because they played the Natty. Did anybody else watch that game? That was a dog walking. No pun intended. That was 100%. A dog walking.
100%. And that was not the team we saw in the national title game.
That whole roster's gone.
That whole roster is gone, and let's be real. And Colorado, the same as Dante. The way when we looked at the schedule, we talked about it in the group chat. We thought they were going to get washed. There's probably only prior to what happened last week, there was probably one game that we saw them being favored at, and that was September 16th at Colorado State. But now they've gone from being 21-point underdogs to now going up against, Matt Rule, and Nebraska's rebuilding, a Big Ten team, and they're a favorite. They're a small favorite at home. They'll probably be a favorite now going into Colorado State. So now expectations have adjusted. So I don't think you're tripping at all. I don't think, you're wrong in any of your points. I just think people are intimidated. And this is this is a new guard, way of thinking. And, and I applaud it. I respect it.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, bro, Deion is really the anti-Dabo. I can't stand Clemson in every way, shape, and form, bro.
I think everybody said that Clemson lost the other day.
Bro, when he said we made our program in God's name, image, and likeness, I'm like, if you don't get the fuck out of here, bro, like these coaches always do this. Like, you don't get paid millions of dollars, and now you have an issue with certain players getting paid. Because like we've all said it, like we've all seen it. If you actually do the research and look at the NIL deals, everybody's not getting paid. Everybody's not rolling around in a Bentley and all this other silly shit like people try to make it seem. And like that's when the racist undertones come out, when you hear them talk about it in the way that like, well, we're just paying these kids and they're not earning it, and like it's just BS. And so they're scared because like Deion knows how to play the game. Like it was funny, it was a joke. But when he went up to Sanders after the game, where it was like, that's every coach in America's worst nightmare, because it's like these kids see Deion, bro, and they're like, no, I'm gonna go play for him. Like he empowers his team.
100%, and I'm gonna keep it, I'm gonna keep it short real quick before we pass it off to Courtney. But let me remind motherfuckers, Nick Saban was in Deion's living room trying to recruit Shedeur.
Yep,
he was being recruited by Power 5. Like this ain't no fluke. You know what I'm saying? He could have went to Bama. He turned that down. So don't be shocked if you continue to see success on Saturday, coming out of Boulder from Shedeur, and it's only gonna elevate more. So I think it's exciting. I think it's good for college football. I think it's good for college sports.
Honestly, there's nothing else that I can truly add that isn't. We're completely aligned. It's good for the sport. He's good for the sport. More eyes on the game. What I thought I saw something about how there's like 3 times as many bets on the Colorado-Nebraska game than any remaining regular season NFL and college football game. Like, that's crazy. And overall, if we're all fans of the sport, we want this. We encourage it for better or for worse. It's great for the game.
Definitely, I definitely agree with that one, man. And mad love to Deion, man. That's gonna be the only team I'm watching this year because I don't really bang with college. That and Caleb Williams. I'm locked into USC football. I'm 100% watching. Yeah. By the way, I call cap on him sitting out. By the way, yeah, I don't buy that. He has the power to do that, but I don't believe he will. But that's one of the people I'm watching.
I will
shout out my man B-Dot in the chat room. We see y'all about to ruin my Sunday. No, we'll ruin your Sunday in the local hour, nigga, when we get to them Packers.
bro. Before we go from Caleb, I'll say this: if there's any school that could put an NIL package to keep him there, it's USC.
It's USC, 100%. Did you see him in the Wendy's commercial?
Yeah, like they can keep him there. If he's like no, I'm not going to Arizona. Like, he could really be on some Magic Johnson shit.
Yeah, he really could, man. But let's get into the first topic of the day, man. We were talking about last week. We were getting y'all ready for the preview of everything on the NFL. We had our first game last night at Kansas City Arrowhead Stadium. Unfortunately, the Detroit Lions came out on top. Detroit Lions are now 1-0. They won 21-20 in a very competitive game. Jared Goff went 25 of 35, 253 yards passing. He had one touchdown. David Montgomery, who my auntie loves, because my auntie is from the west side of Chicago, but she's lived in Detroit for like 20 years, so she's like a fake Lion fan now. She called me last night cutting a promo, and she kept saying, "Thank you for David Montgomery." And I was like, this is a typical Demo game. Like, he really wasn't flashy, but he made a big touchdown. But Demo had 21 carries, 74 yards, the game-winning touchdown. Rookie Jahmyr Gibbs had 7 carries, 42 yards. Wide receivers Josh Reynolds and the good St. Brown, as me and Bang like to call him, the right St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a combined 151 yards receiving and a touchdown. Now on the Chiefs side, Mr. Patrick Mahomes, Baby Goat, as I like to call him, he had 21 of 39, 226 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and an interception, which was a pick 6. A big moment in that game that got him back in there. He led the team with 45 rushing yards. I'll tell you everything you need to know about the rushing attack last night. And this is the terrible wide receiver production. I know Justin Fields was watching this game last night, felt like Denzel, remember the Titans. Not so fun anymore, is it? No, it's not fun anymore. Not even a little bit. I'm pretty sure that's exactly how Justin felt. As you look at the receiving core, the leading wide receiver was Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He had 2 receptions with 40 yards, and most of that came on a 3rd and 17 in the third quarter. And, of course, the guy who deleted his Twitter account today, Kadarius Toney, he had 1 reception, 1 negative yard. He dropped a big pass, which pretty much probably would have won the game. They're basically in field goal range. Yeah. After that 4th down turnover, which I loved by Man Campbell. I hate that I like Dan Campbell as much as I do. I was listening to his interview with Rich Eisen. I was like, this nigga just loves football, though. Like, if he wasn't coach of the Lions, I would love him, man. But so far the Chiefs are on one. The funniest thing to me, obviously, was seeing Chris Jones in the press box with his two Sopranos looking agents. And then we had Travis Kelce with the racist mustache. He did not play. Hyperextended knee. They don't think he'll be serious. But he was definitely missed. So I'm gonna give this to Courtney first. Courtney, what did you think about the game last night?
First thing, I really liked that fake punt. I thought that that was a lot of moxie. I'm like, okay, he is not messing around in Arrowhead. First game of the season. It's a bold move. Big fan. Other than that, I mean, Jared Goff didn't throw a pick. I mean, big highlight. I was a little shocked there, but I guess it's a testament to how not great the Chiefs defense is. That Chris Jones I think it's kind of weird that they let those dudes into the stadium. I was having this conversation with someone last night. Like, you're a member of the organization, but like you're not playing. So like,
right, yeah.
Why are you here? Like, I guess it would be bad to bar them from entering because then they can craft the narrative that like, oh, you know,
we're being held out.
Yeah. Like, I get it, but like that was super awkward and being sandwiched right in between.
I think it was more just a little bit show of respect for the fact that, you know, like that was their banner night, you know, like we're not gonna keep that from you, you know what I'm saying? It's like a scorn, you know, baby mama or baby daddy keeping a kid from a graduation.
Right.
Do you think he'll be at the next game? If he's still holding out, do you think he'll be at the next game?
100% not. No.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think
no. I think that just approved. I think they just did it for that opening night for the banner. You know, he was a part of the championship team. Clearly, he wants to be there, but he wants to get paid.
Also, prove you niggas need me.
Yeah.
Speaking,
I don't think the defense played too bad last night. Yeah.
They gave up 14 points. Points. Like, we being real, they gave up 14 points. And there's another dude, I cannot pronounce his name on that defensive line that they were missing as well. It's the two best players. So,
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes was spreading the ball around a lot. Like, that's cool. But I think we all have kind of made the joke that, like, oh, he could throw the ball, you know, to my 7-year-old little sister, you know, and be successful. And I think we're kind of realizing that Travis Kelce and maybe Tyreek Hill were a lot more pivotal to this offense than maybe we originally thought. Maybe not necessarily Tyreek Hill, just because he obviously wasn't on the team last year. But, like, he needs Travis Kelce, and that should show a lot of teams moving forward. Defenses, especially defense planning, like, you know where he's going to throw the ball. Like, you know where the ball is going. It's not going to anybody else. So, yeah, they got to do something. They might be in a little bit of trouble. I don't think Kadarius Toney's going to have games like that every week, but nah, I'm a little concerned.
Last night was definitely, you know, two of my favorite agendas in football. One, you know, Matt Patricia was a fucking bum. And, you know, shout out to Dan Campbell. Like, anytime I could slander that man, you know, for having a pencil and a laminated play sheet, I will do that. And the other one, Matt Nagy is still a terrible play caller. Like, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to miss Eric Bieniemy. And I want to see how much that plays out this season. We all, when they ran that dumbass jet sweep, we knew who called that play. Like, yes. it wasn't a doubt in our mind who called that play. And so I want to see how that affects them throughout the year. And like you said, they're not having receivers. It's kind of like, I think in Kansas City, and like this happens a lot when you have a great quarterback, the wide receivers get treated the way running backs get treated. It's like, as long as I got somebody serviceable that can go in there, then we solid. But, you know, you saw how much they really missed Travis Kelce, who was he's really like their wide receiver one. You know, he's a tight end, but he's his primary target. That's his guy. So you saw that was definitely, you know, glaring. But I really want to see how Matt Nagy adjusts to being the play caller again, because he is terrible. And so I want to see, with this talent, what is he gonna do?
No, I agree. I don't think yesterday we learned anything. I don't think we learned anything new about the Lions. Like, the Lions ain't really show me nothing. I know it's crazy to say that you go to Arrowhead. It's a tough place to play, and you beat the defending champs, on banner night. But they didn't really show me nothing out of the ordinary to think that they're going to be some type of force this year in the NFC. I still think that outside of Amon-Ra St. Brown, they have a clear deficiency in wide receiver talent. You know, I know they went and invested in Jameson Williams, but he's suspended for, you know, for being in my gambling group chat. So that it is what it is.
Way too many parlays.
You know what I'm saying? Way too many parlays on Killian Hayes assist and shit. But you know, I think, you know, I had mentioned this, you know, last week. You know, the Chiefs are gonna find out now, you know, where they're lacking because they don't have a true number one wide receiver. You know, I agree with Dante. It's Kelsey wide receiver one, you know, at the tight end position. But you know, yesterday was cool. That game flew by to me. Like, anybody else feel like that game flew?
No, it
like,
did.
I just looked up and it was like 3 minutes in the first half, and I'm like, what the fuck?
We were intoxicated, so yeah.
That's what.
Oh yeah, I was just laying on the couch. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is already like there's 3 minutes left. So you know, I think it was a sloppy game. There was obviously plays to be made by the Chiefs. I full disclaimer, I bet them live -1.5. And realistically, they were in position to go ahead and kick the game-winning field goal if they wanted to. But you know, the Kadarius Toney got hands like my grandma, and you know that's what it is. So it was cool. You know, it was cool. I don't really take nothing away from it, but we'll see if Kelsey doesn't play next week. Then yeah, you know, it's gonna be something to monitor on, you know, with the Chiefs going forward.
Do we know who the Chiefs play next week?
Whoever they play, they're gonna win by a million. But let's see. I will tell you right now.
Why you looking that up? Let me say this. We need to.
Oh, the Jaguars. They got the Jaguars.
That's gonna be a game.
That's gonna be a game.
One. And then they got the Bears. And then they got the Bears, who are gonna be 3-0 by then. So I don't know.
Hopefully.
A little too much dip in your chip right there. You know?
Yeah, but bro, they gotta make a category for when a ball hits the receiver in both hands and gets deflected and there's an interception. Because I feel like that should not be on the quarterback. Like, far too often we see these passes hit people in the face, hit them up fucking both hands, and it ends up as an interception. I think that's just not. I mean, and I never do this, you know, but to Dak, you know, in his defense, a lot of his interceptions, like I think like we
defended Dakota today.
What tip? We know we don't usually defend the police, but it's just one of those things. Well, yeah, like a lot of his interceptions they go off a receiver. So like those deflected interceptions, bro, that's always trash. And for the game to turn like that because of it, like you said, I agree. I don't think Tony's gonna have another bad game like that. Hopefully he deleted his Instagram to, you know, lock in, not just because he was embarrassed. But I think that he'll be all right.
I think I'm with y'all, man. I don't think that I'm not nervous about the Chiefs. Like I think that Travis Kelce shouldn't be rushed because hyperextended knee. You don't want to play around with something like that, especially with so much football left, and also with how big of a importance he was. Like I said, Tony he's not a bum. Like Tony, he had a really good year last year. He had a good postseason. I think he'll bounce back. Pat is somebody who knows how to get his guys back rolling. Shout out to Robert Knox in the chat. He said Big Red taking the play calling back like Thanos. If there's anything. For anybody who wondered why doesn't Eric Bieniemy have an actual job as a head coach, if anything, this year is going to help him out tremendously because as me, as Mikey, as Dante, as we know, this bald bastard Matt Nagy is an example of white privilege that he still has a job, okay? And I was never mad at Mitch. I can't be mad at trash for being trash. I'm mad at Ryan Pace for drafting him, seeing that light-skinned king and Mahomes throw and think, you know what? If Mitch isn't there, then I'll get that nigga. So he deserves being Guantanamo Bay because of that. But also Matt Nagy. I called Matt Nagy out a long time ago. I remember 5 years ago. It wasn't even, I think it was like week 3 or week 4. I realized, he might be a merchant. And like the interception off. I don't remember people remember that. Sunday Night Football, the Rams and the Bears, both teams were good. And Mitch and Golf were just huffing it out. And then play call, I told my man Lotto sitting right there, I was like, this nigga's trash. We tell him that he's gonna screw us. So if there's anything the Chiefs need to be worried about, it's Matt Nagy. And not only Matt Nagy, if you're Eric Bieniemy, you know what I'm saying? That exactly is what is gonna help him out. Shout out to Mikey putting this in the chat. That's why I don't have my phone on D&D doing the show. Pat McAfee and Stephen A. Smith are running up a check, man. I gotta get love to them. Nick Saban is gonna be on Pat McAfee show every Thursday.
And Aaron Rodgers every Tuesday.
Aaron Rodgers every Tuesday. And here's this: Pat McAfee is going to be on First Take with Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp every Tuesday. Do you understand the quality of content we're gonna get?
They are curb stomping Skip Bayless ass, boy. They are going out of their way.
Stephen A. should watch this.
Bury his ass.
Lil Wayne got to give Skip a verse at this point. That's the only way he will get right.
That's the intro of the show, though.
No. Skip
awful F1 song.
Yeah. No, Skip needs to be on the next album. That's it. He's done in the streets. No shrimp, no rice, no champagne at Fox Sports 1.
No, nothing. I'm going to say this before we move on to our next topic. Also, I agree with you, Mike. I didn't, and this is not a hater comment. I know it's going to come off as a hater comment because I'm a Bears fan. I didn't learn anything from Detroit last. You were supposed to win that game. If you got him throwing to, El Pollo Loco workers, if you've got, the defense missing that, you have to win that game. So I think it's a game where it's unfair in sports, but when you win a game that it's just supposed to win, nobody really gives you credit for it. Now, I will say this is a good start for Detroit because next week they get to go to Atlanta and play, or I don't know if it's in Atlanta or in Detroit, but they're playing against Desmond Ritter, and it's at the crib in Ford Field, which is actually one of my favorite. I hate to say it, one of my favorite stadiums in football. Like it gets loud in Detroit. It gets loud in Detroit. Yeah, it's gonna be dope out there. I think they can go 2-0, man. So we're gonna see how that goes. Let's go on to our next topic, man. This is a quick one. I want to talk about vet quarterbacks who are under the most pressure. Dante, who you think the heat is on the most coming into this season?
I got two. It's Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott. I think with Aaron Rodgers, you handpicked where you want to go. You know what that franchise is going through and how long it's been since they won a Super Bowl. And it's like you can be the guy, on Broadway to make that happen. So I think you selected that place. So I think the pressure's on Aaron Rodgers. Not saying I think Shannon Sharp made a good point when he was like, it all depends on how long he wants to play. Like if this is his last year or if it ain't going to be his last year because he deferred all his money. We know that. But he has to win a Super Bowl. So I think right now, every year going into it, the pressure is going to be on Aaron Rodgers to make that happen because everything we said about the Jets is their quarterback away. And now you have one of the best to ever do it. So it's like, what are we doing here? And I think with Dak, like I said, I call him Dak Cousins. He has been extremely mediocre and gets everybody not in the the NFC East. But I think this is the year he got to put up or shut up. You see, they took a flyer on Trey Lance to see, and we've seen how it's going in Dallas. We talked about that with, their quarterback is usually injury away, and then that new guy comes in and he becomes the guy and keeps the job. So I think the pressure is definitely on Dak this year. Like we talked about the Cowboys year after year, how good their roster is. And so now what is he going to do? He has to win. I want to say he has to at least get to the NFC Championship game, but I think he has to at least win one playoff game, like flat out.
I agree with that. I'm gonna go with Mr. Unlimited himself, Mr. Russell Wilson, because if Sean Payton can't get it out you, then it just might just be over. And I never thought that we talk about players playing themselves out of the Hall of Fame. This nigga might actually be playing himself out of the Hall of Fame. He's only putting up points on Sierra right now. That's the only thing he's doing. Like the nigga pops out a baby every fucking 5 months. So like outside of that. There's no explosive offense. Yeah, there's no explosive offense coming from Pauls, by the way. Yeah, there's no explosive offense coming from Russell Wilson outside of that. Pauls again. Okay. I think it's him. If Sean Payton can't do it, nobody can. And I think that if as a Bears fan, I'm very happy that the Bears didn't trade them picks for him right now. But he's got to get together, man, because if this is it, it's over. And I think they're going to try to look to see what they can do to maybe get a younger quarterback. They're not going to be bad enough to be in the Caleb Williams. Maybe they can find a way if Shedeur goes real hard. They're going to have to come up with a backup plan to be able to get back in this because I think he has the most pressure, man. So I'm going to go with Russell Wilson.
I'm in the same camp as both of y'all. Actually, that was kind of my top 3 people under the most pressure. And I was actually just having a conversation with someone about that Boulder to Denver pipeline for Shedeur Sanders could be a thing, but I don't know how open they would be to another black quarterback so soon after the failure of Russell Wilson. Just being honest.
Too many niggas, not enough niggas.
Yeah, but no, I think Dakota Rain Dakota. Is that what it is? Rain. He's got
Is it Rain Dakota or Dakota Rain? Either way, it's terrible.
Either way, he's the one that's got to get it figured out because you have arguably the best defense in the NFL. You've got mad weapons on offense now. Now you got to go do something, man. There's literally no excuse for you. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
who you got?
Move on.
I agree. It was between both of them, Dak and Russell Wilson. But I'll go a little outside the box. Let's go to that man up in Buffalo, Josh Allen. Like kind of how we were saying last week. I think there's a lot of I don't think they're putting enough pressure on the Bills because this is a ready-made team, ready to win. I mean, they've made improvements every year that he's been there. They've made it to the playoffs, but they haven't gotten over that hump. So the division is tougher. In no way means shape or form do I think his job is on the line, but there's pressure. If the Bills do not make any noise in their division this year, I think right now they probably are still favorites to win their division. But if they don't make some serious noise in the playoffs, then the headlines and the storylines going into next year is, can the Buffalo Bills win with Josh Allen, or have they hit a wall? So I think that's something. I think that's something to monitor, as outside of the Dak and I agree with all of y'all. Dak has been the starting QB since 2016. We're going on year 7, year 8. And they haven't really done shit of note. Not to Jerry's expectation. So he's easily the clear cut favorite. But I would put Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? I'll load Josh Allen up in that clip, and I think I'll be ready to fire on him. As we get to January and February, we get into the offseason. Depending what Buffalo does.
Definitely, man. Let's move on before we get into our full week preview, which be coming up in 1 second. I want to talk about some big news that broke over this last couple of days, man, of some guys who got paid. Of course, we were talking about holdouts. One of these is a holdout, the other wasn't a holdout. But we talked about Chris Jones not too long ago. But Mr. Nick Bosa shows that racism pays off, as he got paid massively. 5-year, $170 million contract with the San Francisco 49ers. 122.5 of that million is guaranteed. And then last night, and I do not think this is a coincidence of the timing it got announced, because these two gentlemen are getting their real Jay-Z and Nas on right now in their rivalry, the only real rivalry to Patrick Mahomes. That is my man Joe Burrow. He agreed to a 5-year extension with the Cincinnati Bengals for $275 million. And here's the kicker: $219.01 million guaranteed for Joe Burrow, man. Quickly, let's give our quick thoughts on what y'all think about these two moves before we get into our preview.
My first thought is how unbelievably petty the timing of Joe Burrow's deal was. Like right before the game started, like, wow, do you need the attention that bad? Never see in heaven. I'd rather never see in heaven. Follow up, God, Nick Bosa, that is going to fund a lot of GOP super PACs. That Moms for Liberty donation is going to be massive.
A lot of DeSantis campaign dollars made.
100%.
Bro, somebody said he saw that check and said, "I'll build that damn wall myself."
That was me. Shout out to all my Mexicans, but hey.
Yeah, but nah, like, bro, he's definitely, like you said, I was disappointed because I wanted the Bears to go after him, but I knew eventually San Francisco was going to pay him. Like, you can't let that type of talent walk out the door. And same with Joe Burrow. I'm glad he got paid because, he is a little older, and we've seen the injuries with Joe. Like he said, luckily it was just a calf strain coming into the.
And he will be playing Sunday.
Yeah, he will be playing week 1. So, we avoided crisis there. But a guy like Joe, like, he's a player you build around. So, a lot of people, like, didn't want to hear me when I said this, but I think Joe Burrow, like I said, everybody like wants to crown Herbert as like the next guy. Like, nah, it's Joe Burrow, like flat out. It's Pat Mahomes, and then I got Joe, like everywhere. And I know he's always had a good supporting cast around and great weapons and whatnot, but still, what he does as a quarterback, he deserved every dollar.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I think we knew it was a formality. It was just a matter of time before he was going to get paid. And we knew he was, as it always goes, it's cyclical. The next one always one-ups the next one. So, well deserved. I mean, Joe Burrow, outside of Patrick Mahomes, is my favorite quarterback to watch, because he's a cold motherfucker,
And he wears buffs and he don't look corny.
You know what I'm saying? That's Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow. So that's good for him. And I mean, now we have to transition to who are going to be the next quarterbacks down the road that are going to start getting paid. And that's where we have to probably keep an eye on the Trevor Lawrences, the Justin Fields, that that rookie class, to see where they go. So it's interesting to see. I wish that shit worked like that in the corporate world. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, my coworker got this. Well, this is what I got. Let me one up you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But no, and I agree with Courtney. It was super petty right before kickoff, but that's how it is.
I love the one-upsmanship there by Burrow, man. Like, oh yeah, you got your little cute ring, nigga, but I'm finna go buy me a Bentley like today. Like, but I think
you think they're gonna pay T. Higgins?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. I mean, now you got I mean, they always have the franchise tag at their disposal. They got two wide receivers. I don't know if Jamar Chase got a contract or if he didn't, but you figure one will get a contract, one will get tagged, and they play those games, and it's got the potential to get ugly over there. But LOL to all you fucking Bengals fans that kept thinking Joe Burrow was going to give you a hometown discount. Newsflash, he didn't. So,
with that cheap ass owner, hell no.
Nope.
Absolutely not. But yeah, I'll say, man, I think it's a good deal for both teams, man. I love Joe Burrow. I think that's self-explanatory. I wear a MAGA hat for Bosa to be on the Bears, so I'm I have no shame. If he was on the Bears, I'd be like, I don't know, man, dude. I might be side with him. So he might have some points here. Let's hear him out.
Points were made.
Points were made. So, but shout out to both of them, man, for their payday, man. So let's get into it. We're going to start off right now with our full week 1 preview show. We will preview segment. We will preview Bears Packers in the local hour. So we're going to skip off that game. Now, Mikey has gambling odds. Mike, how you want to do this? Do you want to do this like we do it per game, or do we do it where you just want to give like the top games that you're looking at?
We could go per game and give our predictions, and then I'll let you know if I got some action on that one. There's a few games that I got. I got a parlay for everybody because I know everybody loves parlays. I got a prop bet for everybody because I know, throw that in your parlay or take a single. And I got 2 single bets that I like, for teams outright. So we can go into the prediction, and towards the end I'll give a rundown of it, and we'll also post it on Twitter too.
Okay, cool, perfect. So let's start off with the first game I got laid out here, man. We got in Baltimore. We got the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson, the new look Ravens. Now, Odell Beckham is listed as questionable for the game. He messed up his hamstring in practice, which tells you Odell is fully back when he's listed questionable. And they'll be going up against C.J. Stroud in his first NFL game and the Houston Texans. I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to go Ravens, man. I think it's going to be an easy win for them. I think the Ravens are going to be a team that a lot of people are going to enjoy watching. I think this is going to be a very competitive division in the AFC North. I'm really excited to see Zay Flowers. I think he's one of the guys that I was looking at in the draft. If the Bears had an opportunity to get him, he'd been a guy I'd have liked. But I just feel like this is going to be a very bad season for the Texans. I don't think that I can't even name a wide receiver on them. I don't really know how well D'Amico Ryan is going to do as a first-time head coach. So it's a lot of question marks in there. I think they're going to start the game off with a thrashing in this one. So I'm going to go with Baltimore.
Yeah, I agree. I got Baltimore. Although I am higher on the Texans than you are, I think C.J. Stroud is going to be really good, and I think he's going to show some flashes year 1. May not be week 1, but I think he's definitely going to be solid this year. I know I forgot his name, so I'm not going to say that. But as a wide receiver, they drafted him from Houston. He's a rookie.
Tank Dell.
Yeah.
Tank Dell. Yeah.
Yeah. C.J. Stroud, requested that they draft him, and they went ahead and did that. And so I think the Texans are going to be solid, but I think week 1, I definitely got the Ravens. I think Lamar's going to they're going to throw it. He's going to put on the show.
Same. I'm going to put a little bit more respect on the Texans as well. Dameon Pierce, I think he's going to get a lot of reps. I like him to have a good season. Also, I think CJ Stroud's going to have to lean on Dalton Schultz, who's new down there from Dallas. I kind of like that veteran presence there for him. So I do think Baltimore's going to win, and I don't think it's going to be close. But I got to give the Texans their props because I think they're going to try their best.
I agree with y'all. So that is one of my plays. It's in the parlay. So the Ravens are favored by 9.5 points. I think they win by 17 or more. This game is perfectly set up for Lamar Jackson and the new look, offensive side of the ball for the Ravens to show up and show out. The Texans will be missing their starting safety, Jimmy Ward. And, for everybody who knows football, Jimmy Ward was a key contributor for the Niners and DeMeco Ryans at safety these last couple of years. It's rookie quarterbacks on the road in their first start. That's tough. Baltimore is going to be a very tough place to play. And the Texans will be down 3 of their 5 starting offensive linemen, including their, newly signed, right tackle in Titus Howard. So I think this game is going to get ugly. I'm going to ride with the Ravens. And, that is one of my plays, the Ravens minus 9.5.
Okay, cool. Next one, big AFC North matchup, man. In Cleveland, in the dog pound, we got D. Kelly, and yes, I'll be calling him for the remainder of the season. Just want to let y'all know right now. D. Kelly, Deshaun Watson will be having his first full season as Browns quarterback, and they will be taking on the man we just mentioned, the $275 million man, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Man, this is going to be a really good game, in my opinion. I don't really know what I think about the Browns because I think it really all depends on how Deshaun bounces back. I don't think that if we just look on the field, and I'm going to keep saying it all season, if we just look on the field before his situation, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And his only problem was being sacked all that many times. So if he can get that back, I think they're going to be a good team and they're going to be up in it. But in this one, I'm going with the Bengals, man. I feel like the Bengals we brought up the Bills earlier, Mikey, about them kind of being make or break. With now the contract from Burrow, the clock is speeding up now because we all know that everybody in this core is not going to be coming back. So even though he missed all the training camp, he got hurt on day 1, didn't play in preseason. He's a vet. Well, I don't think he really needs preseason. I think he'll be ready to go. And I think the Bengals are going to win in a very, very close game. I'll probably take them by like 3 in this one.
Okay, I hear you on that one. I'm actually on the Browns money line, the Browns to win outright. So that's actually one of my plays too. The Browns own Joe Burrow and the Bengals since Joe Burrow has been there. Joe Burrow is 1-4 against the Browns. In 4 out of 5 games that he has played against the Cleveland Browns, he has been sacked more than 4 times. They just clearly have his number. And I'm excited to see what the Browns look like now that kind of, not that he was a distraction, but Kareem Hunt is gone, and this is solely going to be Nick Chubb's backfield. So I feel like they have a little bit more clarity on how they're going to go with the running game. Deshaun Watson was a top 5 talent, before everything, went down, like you said, Scott. So I think this is going to be a big bounce back year for him. They add Elijah Moore. You got Amari Cooper. You got a full off season with Amari Cooper and Deshaun Watson to build that rapport. They're playing at home. And like I said, they have a great, track record against the Cleveland Browns. Against the Cincinnati Bengals. So I like the Cleveland Browns to win this game outright. That is one of my plays. I just think there's still some uncertainty with, Joe Burrow's calf. This is, obviously he's going to be out there for the first time all season. He hasn't stepped, on the field, as far as in the preseason game. So I'm riding with the Browns in this one.
Yeah, in the battle of 2 of the most mediocre cities in the Midwest, I have to go with Cincinnati, man. I think Joe Burrow comes out, like I know you say he's 1-4 against them so far in his career, but I think they're gonna come out on Sunday and really light it up. So I got Cincinnati.
I'm with you. Also, I can't actively put my interest behind that nasty man. So Cincinnati, it is.
That's a tough one.
Yeah,
that's all I got.
Yeah.
Couldn't even be playing football anymore, in my opinion.
We're gonna go to the next game. This one is a skip game to me. Vikings open up their season at the crib against Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think Baker Mayfield is god awful. I don't really have like anything else to say about him. I think the Vikings will run up a check on these niggas on Sunday, which Bears need to win because I think all teams have a chance to be 1-0 in the NFC North. So I'm gonna go with the Vikings in this one.
Is the game? Where's the game at?
It's in Minnesota.
It's in Minnesota.
Yeah.
If it's in Minnesota, I like Kirk Cousins. Like, it's crazy. Like, but that show quarterback, it found me saying, you know what? Like, I think he's a dickhead, but Kirk Cousins is not that bad of a guy. Like,
it's that quarterback show on Netflix that really.
It did a really good show. Like, I watched it and I was like, you know what? Like, I don't dislike this guy. You know?
Nah. Personally victimized by Kirk Cousins.
He tucks his kids in the bed. He reads some Bible verses. Like, yo, this nigga's not bad.
To be that rich and he's driving like a Ford Excursion or some shit. I'm like,
hey, listen, man. He's got millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, and he dresses like my abuelo. Rest in peace. I respect the man. I respect him.
Yeah. Like when he had like the cribs he had and all that. But no, anyway, I got Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. I think the Vikings will take care of business at home.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride with the Vikings. It's a fishy line though. They're only favored by 5.5. You know what I'm saying? And they're at home, so it's a little fishy. Things that make you wonder, especially they're at home. Yeah. Things that make you wonder. I mean, the Bucs defense still with Vita Vea, and they might be tough. But I still got the Vikings at the end of the day.
Baker's just terrible, like Scott said, bro. Like
he's just bad.
I feel bad for Mike Evans.
He's gonna be on the trade block by trade deadline. Like, look out for a team to be able to scoop him. Like, if Pat keep throwing to
I'm about to say Patrick
to hall monitors, like he might be looking at two guys who I think are gonna be on new teams, wide receivers by trade deadline. I think Devontae is gonna join Rodgers in New York, and I think that Mike Evans might join Patrick in Kansas City.
What's Godwin's contract look like? Is he locked in?
Godwin's locked in. I think they just re-signed Godwin like last year.
Yeah, they re-signed. They paid Godwin over Mike. So
yep.
If you love field goals, this next game is for you. Saints at the crib opening up their season against the Tennessee Titans.
I resent that.
As the guy who has seen more field goals and touchdowns in his football life, I know when a field goal game is afoot. This is one of those. The new look Saints with their quarterback Derek Carr hosting Ryan Tannehill, and pretty much the same team that they had last year with the addition of DeAndre Hopkins. I'm going to go with the Saints in this one. I don't really like anything about not Kansas City, but Tennessee. I do think it'll be a close game, but I'm gonna roll with the Saints in this one.
Yeah, I like the Saints. Yeah, I like the Saints, man. I think this is playing in the Superdome. I think the Saints actually have the number 1 easiest schedule, or the number 2 easiest schedule in the NFL. They're playing a terrible division, and I think this might be an easy game for them.
Yeah, like you said, bringing the check down God to team them up with Slant Boy. I think they're gonna put some numbers up out there in New Orleans in those home games, and it's always a tough place to play. Who I picked to win the division, but I think on Sunday the Saints are gonna take care of business.
My team is just catching so many strays right now. I heard you just call that man Slant Boy. That's
Slant Boy, the God, Slant Boy.
He has one route and he runs it very well. But hey.
One of the greatest Twitter nicknames ever, Slant Boy.
Yeah, I got my Saints to do what they need to do. Of course, I'm a little biased, but I mean, Tennessee does not instill any sort of fear into me, especially first game of the season in the Superdome. It's Saints by 10 points.
By 10 points. We're gonna go to another NFC South game. We got the Atlanta Falcons. By the way, if you want to preview that game, there's a new episode of King's Landing out right now on the Barbershop Network. We got the King brothers, Brian and Jared. They'll be breaking down everything from this upcoming game and the entire season. So stay in tune with them. You want more in-depth breakdown of that game. But this will be our first look at Bryce Young. Hopefully he doesn't die behind that offensive line in the first quarter. I think I'm gonna pick Atlanta to win this one, man. I think Atlanta's an interesting team because they've got everything they need but the quarterback. And us as Bears fans, we know that pain all too well. I don't know how bad Desmond Ritter will be, but I just don't think he'll be good. But I do think they'll be enough to beat the Panthers. I think the Panthers will be a very bad team this year, and I'm not just saying that because I can't wait for the Bears to cash in that money in the bank in April of next year and get that draft pick. But I just think it's going to be a bad team. And I think that the Falcons will win, but I do think it'll be a close game. I think a lot of NFC South games will be close because it's a terrible division.
Yeah, for sure. They're about to have a mid-off. Like that's definitely like fall asleep on the couch by like 7 minutes in the second quarter material. I really hate that Bryce Young is getting his first career regular season start, likely without Adam Thielen, without DJ Chark, which is a terrible situation. They say they're not going to give all the snaps off to Miles Sanders and they got to spread it out over the course of the season, but I really don't feel too optimistic about this plan to send your brand new franchise quarterback into battle with literally nothing positive going for him. Terrible offensive line, no offensive weapons. It's going to be ugly. Tough scene. I got to go with the Falcons, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Falcons
smack them. Fuck them. I had to watch. I'm 34 years old. I don't know how many years I've had to watch my team play without wide receivers, a fucking quarterback at the number one position. Fuck them. This is what they get. Give us that top 3 pick.
Yeah, Bryce reminds me a lot of Drew Brees with his size, and you know how. And so with that old line, I think he really is going to struggle. I think the Falcons are going to beat him by 2 touchdowns. Like, I think a lot of people, we're putting such an emphasis on Desmond Ritter, and I get it because you do need a quarterback, but Arthur Smith runs the ball. Like, they run the ball. That's why they drafted Bijan. They still got Tyler Algier, who rushed I want to say 1,200 yards last year, something like that. You got Cordell Patterson. Like, this is a team that I think with the personnel they have, they're going to be tough to defend a lot of weeks because you got Drake London on one side. You got Kyle Pitts on another side. Like, they have offensive weapons. So for Desmond, you just kind of just don't turn the ball over. Like, you know, we know you hate telling the quarterback don't lose me the game, but until we can see what he does as a quarterback, I know Arthur Smith is going to run the ball, and like that's just going to open it up for him. So the potential is going to be there for Desmond to be all right. And I think week 1, because like you said, I think Carolina's terrible this year. So I got the Falcons by 2 touchdowns.
Definitely, man.
I agree with you. I got ATL, and I don't think it's going to be close.
Yeah, I'm with all y'all on that, man. Let's go to the AFC South. Another quarterback debut in Indianapolis. Anthony Richardson, the Indianapolis Colts, will be hosting the defending AFC South champions, Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, them boys. This is going to be a blowout, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a blowout. If you are in Indianapolis, you plan your trip to the mall and Sizzler by the end of the first quarter, because this one's going to be a wrap. We're going to see Calvin Ridley. He's going to go off. I think that defense is going to eat. I think Anthony Richardson is going to throw a couple picks. I really do. I think it's going to be a big, big win for the Jaguars, man. I'm going to Jags.
Yeah, bro. Everything you hear makes you want to root for Anthony Richardson, and I hope he's, ends up okay, but they're going to get smoked. I'm really high on the Jaguars this year. I think Calvin Ridley is going to come back and show you, like, he's one of the best receivers in the league. Like, I think route running wise, he might be the best. Like, there's not too many out there better than him. I know Bear fans, we were hoping his brother, you know how everybody tell you the little brother's better than the little brother be terrible. Like, I feel like Chicago, we had to do that like 4 times. Like him, the Teague brothers, like it was a lot. But I think Ridley's going to really show out this year. And I got the Jags.
Yeah, I agree. I got the Jags. The Jags are -4.5. They're in the parlay of the week, so I'll give that out later, the full parlay. But I got the Jags money line. I do think Anthony Richardson could pose some problems for Doug Peterson's defense. If they, use him on the outside, kind of use some of his legs. He is, he is mobile, and he's big as shit. So I think, the Jags have the potential, and I can't find the odds. I had it here, and I'll find it. But I believe the Jags have the potential to have the best record overall in the NFL this season. They play in one of the worst divisions outside of, both South divisions are terrible. And I think they will go undefeated in their division this year. So I think the Jags get off to a nice hot start. And this is supposed to be a big year for Trevor Lawrence, and they won a playoff game last year, so let's see how they bounce back against they a divisional opponent that they should beat.
Scott, you're muted.
On mute, G. You're on mute.
My fault. I pulled a rookie move. Let's move on to the next game. Steelers, Niners. For this one, man, I think this is the Steelers an interesting team as well. I don't trust Kenny Pickett because he wears 2 gloves, even though I do think he's shown a lot. But they're going up against the San Francisco 49ers, man. Brock Purdy in a full year. We're going to see if he's really good or not. But I think this will be a good game, and I do think the Niners have a good chance to win. But I'm going to take the upset, man. I'm rolling with Mike Tomlin, and I'm going to roll Kenny Pickett, George Pickens. I think they're going to put up a show. I'm not sold on Purdy. I'm just not. I'm just not whatsoever, and I wish all the bad things on earth happened to Kyle Shanahan because him and John Lynch get away with murder each and every year. So I'm going to go with the Steelers up in this one. Not only Steelers, I'm going to go Steelers big. That's my hot take. I'm going Steelers big.
How big?
By 14.
Against the 49ers defense?
Against the 49ers defense.
Wow.
I'm going
That's
cool.
I echo your sentiments. They're in the parlay as well. I love the Steelers this week. I love home dogs. That's the thing that you'll see this weekend. I love home underdogs this weekend. There's a lot of unknowns with the 49ers this year going into this season. A lot of injuries. You got Javon Kinlaw injured. Joey Bosa's coming back. He's an animal, and he's worth every dollar he got. But is he ready, to play 70 snaps? You got they're missing some people out in the I forgot the baby Troy Polamalu looking motherfucker that be running around with his hair all crazy. They're missing him. And Brock Purdy's coming off of UCL. I don't remember, my time many quarterbacks that have, had to have Tommy John surgery. And this is his first start. Back in the regular season. So I love the Steelers. I think this is going to be a low scoring game. I think defense is going to remain supreme. The Niners are basically, it's like a 3-point game. I think they're -2.5 on the spread. And you have to take into account for West Coast teams that are flying to play that early game in the East Coast. It's a 1:00 start here on the East Coast. So that's, damn near a 10 a.m. start. That does have an effect on players. So I love the Steelers. I think they're going to run the ball this year. George Pickens is a beast athletically. And I'm a big believer in Kenny Pickett this year within, playing within the offense. They're gonna ground and pound you with the 2 running back system they have in Najee Harris and Jalen Samuel. And I like the Steelers as well.
Yeah, I got Mike T. At home. I'm big. I'm not as big on Pickett as everybody else, but I do think he will be serviceable in that offense. And so with everything around him, I think coming out, I think they're gonna get a dub to start the season off.
I see the vision. I think it's gonna be 14 points. That's a bold.
I'm riding with Omar Epps this week. So you going Steelers too?
Yeah. I'm going Steelers too.
Okay, bet. This next game.
I like 3.
By 3? Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah. This game screens 14-17, like some shit like that.
Yeah.
14-17 energy.
I'm gonna go 21-7, but we gonna see how it's gonna roll. This next one is a skip. Commanders Cardinals. I'm going Commanders. I don't think we need any real big breakdown on this one.
Commanders. DC.
Yeah. Sam Howell have a game.
AFC West matchup, Broncos, Raiders. The Raiders are a team that I don't know. It's a mess, which is pretty much what the Raiders have been my entire lifetime. The Raiders. I'm going with the Broncos in this one. It's going to be an ugly game, but I do have the Broncos winning this one over the Raiders.
I'm going Raiders, bro. I'm going Raiders. I just don't. Y'all know how I feel about the head coach in Denver. So I mean,
I don't like him that much either. But the Raiders, I hate Mini Hoodie worse.
Yeah, Jimmy G back with his boy. Let's see if they can work some magic. So I think week 1, I'm gonna go with the Raiders.
I just hope both teams have fun. I mean, I'm a little sad as a Saints fan that my head coach came out of retirement to go coach someone else. That kind of stings a little bit, but to be expected because he's a little slithery snake. Yeah, I mean, Jimmy G, that's my guy. I got to root for the Raiders. That's really all I got. Love Jimmy G.
Yeah, I'm riding with the Raiders. I'm riding with the Raiders on this one. I think we're going to get a heavy dose of Josh Jacobs and Jimmy G dissecting with Devontae Adams and some of those other weapons. I don't believe in the Broncos yet. They're gonna have to show me. So I'm riding with the Raiders.
The local hour is coming up in about 5 minutes, man. We've got Herb Howard from the Bigs on the other side coming up. So we're going to get through these next couple games. Dolphins Chargers, man. This is going to be a real good game in SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, man. Tua versus Justin Herbert. You know the story between those two. I'm going to go with the Chargers, man. I think eventually they're going to have to break. I'm a big Justin Herbert guy. And not that I hate Tua. I think Tua is good too if he can actually stand up right. But I think that the Chargers are going to win this one. But I do think it's going to be very high scoring. But I'm going with the Chargers in this.
I'm gonna go Miami. And anybody in the LA area, if you need tickets to the game, contact me.
Holla at this dude right here.
Right there. I got you. We got you good prices. But no, I'm gonna go with Miami on the road. So I really don't like Staley. I mean, like I said, I'm all for going for it on fourth down and taking chances and things like that. But a lot of his decision making, it sets the Chargers up for failure, and he's done it time and time again. So I'm rocking with Miami.
I'm gonna rock with LA. Shout out to my guy Jeremy. I don't think that Miami's gonna go into LA and get a dub first game of the season. I don't see it happening personally. Now I'm with you on the anti-Staley agenda. I think if they don't do something this season, he's gotta go because that relationship is done. And Austin Eckler is definitely trying to earn his supper. He knows it's a contract year, so I look to him to absolutely eat, not just this game but this season. So I'm going Chargers.
Yeah, I had tossed and turned with this game. I was leaning Miami for a while. I'm going to be actually pretty big on Miami this year, but I am going to ride with the Chargers. I just think the possibility of the Dolphins playing without their prize free agent and their starting left tackle, Teron Armstead, is huge, especially when matching up against the other MAGA Bosa. So, especially going on the road, it's going to be a shootout, but I ride with the Chargers, and it's going to be interesting to see this new improved offense with Kellen Moore as the OC now with the Chargers.
Definitely. Let's the next one, Eagles Patriots. I'm pretty sure everybody. I'm going Eagles, man. Like there's really not much I gotta say about this shit. I'm going Eagles all the way. Going Jalen Hurts, man. This is a speed round that one. Everybody going Eagles?
Yeah. I'm anti Mac Jones.
Anti Mac Jones. Me too. Rams Seahawks. Jesus. If that is a go to the store game. I'm going Seahawks.
Yeah.
Seahawks again. Seattle. Big Gino. Sunday Night Football. First Sunday. I can't wait to hear that racist NBC song come on. And I've been waiting on that for Sunday night. I can't wait to hear that. NFC East game to start it off. Dakota versus Daniel Jones. I'm going to go with the Cowboys in this game just because I don't trust the Giants. I mean, I don't trust neither one of these niggas, but I really don't trust the Giants. And it's going to be at MetLife. So that's what I'm going with that. Who y'all got? Cowboys or Giants?
Yeah, it's
Jet Life. My bad. Jet Life. Jet Life Stadium.
I got the Cowboys, man. I was originally riding with the Giants, but I see now that Darren Waller is questionable with a hamstring. And hamstrings are very tricky. Right, exactly. And Wan'Dale Robinson, I believe that's how you say his name, right? He's questionable as well. I'm actually pretty high on the Giants this year because I'm a big Brian Daboll fan. I think he showed he could turn, shit into chicken. And he did that last year. And I think if he plays to Daniel Jones' strength and you got a healthy Saquon back there, they could play some noise. They're tough on defense. I'm not gonna front on the Giants. They're pretty interesting, but I'm gonna ride with the Cowboys just because of the injury uncertainty. And for all the reasons we said, this is a big year for the Cowboys. They have to win week 1.
By the way, the local hour is like 3 minutes away. We got Herb Howard from the Bigs. He just pulled up into the room. We're going to bring him in just a second. Courtney, who you got?
I got the Cowboys. I think they come out looking to make a big statement with this game against another divisional opponent for sure. 100% Cowboys.
I know I'm going to regret this. I feel like Daniel Jones is going to make a fool out of me, but I'm going to pick the Giants. I think the Giants are going to take care of business. I hate that Waller is questionable, but I love their head coach and their offense. So I think, with Saquon back in the building, happy, I think the Giants are going to get the dub at home.
And final game of the week, first Monday Night Football game, man. I can't wait to hear Joe Buck and Aikman. It will be at JetLife Stadium, like Courtney said. It will be Aaron Rodgers' regular season debut. It is the 22nd anniversary of 9/11, so that will be. I know they're gonna do the whole spiel before the game. It's the Buffalo Bills and the Jets. I think for the Jets, this is either going to be a really, really good season for them, or they're going to look like the Dream Team Eagles team. But I don't think they get it done in week 1. I think Josh Allen comes out, spoils the party. I'm going with the Bills by a field goal in this Monday Night Football game. Who y'all got?
I got the Jets, Jets. Shout out to my boy Mike, 96. Mike, I got your t-shirt. Mike. I got his Nike t-shirt I ordered for him. It's here. I got to give him to him. But what is it? I'm a big fan of the Jets, man. Like, let's be real. Last year, their defense is legit. Yeah, they had everything but a quarterback. Now having a quarterback allows that defense to spend less time on the field than they did last year. And I think they go ahead and they find a way. And I think the Jets have a big year this year. So I'm riding with the Jets. Like I said, I'm big on home underdogs. That's my other single bet. So if you're keeping track, the only two singles that I'm on are the Jets money line and the Browns money line. I'm big on home underdogs, and I think both defenses and the running game and the quick short passing game will prove to be fruitful that day.
You're about to pay my rent for next month. Thank you.
Courtney Johnson, who you got before we wrap this up and we get to her?
Oh, Jets, bro. I got the Jets. I told you. Like I said, it's a lot easier for me to say positive things about Aaron Rodgers because he's not kicking my team's teeth in no more. So I think the Jets are going to be a problem all season. As long as that offensive line can hold up, I got the Jets.
Yeah, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to allow his team to embarrass him in front of company. Nah, I think absolutely he's going to win game 1. He has to. He's going to be in that locker room by the half if they're down, yelling at somebody. Somebody's getting a horse tranquilizer if they get hurt. Like there's no chance that team loses Monday Night Football. I got the Jets.
Definitely. That's our week 1 preview. Mikey will give his parlay in the local hour, man. Courtney, I know you're not going to join us for the Misfit Hour, as we like to have here. So
I'll wait until the end of September to slander the White Sox.
Okay, all right, okay. But let them know everybody know they can follow you, and you'll be back on Monday. So
follow me at 1-800-CALLABRO on Instagram, on Twitter. I guess I got to start working on the whole TikTok thing. Otherwise, I hope y'all have a good weekend. Horns down, roll tide, who dat, all that good stuff. I'm not watching baseball this weekend because I value my mental health.
Exactly. And your Rangers are plummeting, but we'll talk about that.
The Rangers are cooked.
We'll talk about that on Monday. We're not gonna let you escape from that one. But thank you, Courtney. We're gonna take a 1-30 break, and on the other side of the local wire, we're gonna have Herb Howard from the Bigs Media, man. He's gonna be joining us as we get into this Bears Packers preview, man. So we'll be back in a second. It's your guy, Scott.
It's your boy, Dante.
Jared Bang in the stand.
It's Courtney.
It's your man, Mikey.
Like, he needs to pull the Russell Wilson.
She was a little bit too excited to say fried chicken.
It was the heavy eye on it. She said the fried.
Coco Jones is right for the date the athlete R&B singer. She needs to either date Ja Morant so Ja Morant can actually be around a woman, or she needs to go with Patrick Mahomes.
Since I had this nigga dressing up like he got a bead closet, like I don't know if we need Pat to be doing all that shit.
You saying she'll have him dressing like Chase Claypool?
There's the running joke on the internet that I do not like black quarterbacks, which is a lie.
It's a fact.
That was that was put on this network at least 5 years ago because I said some things about Lamar Jackson that I stand by.
Again, I don't think that it's a make or break year for Justin Fields by any means. Even last year, with like the very little that he had to work with, he was trying to ball out.
Those white Bears fans from like fucking I don't know, Elmhurst and shit, they gonna be outside picking it.
Hey, let me tell you, Cap, about this Tyson Badgett.
First time, long time.
First time, long time. I'll hang up. What do you think?
All right. We are back for the local hour, our first local hour of the year, man. And we've got my guy here, Herb Howard from the Bigs Media, man. You can follow him on Herb at Herb Howard 411 on Twitter, man. There's a lot of cool people in the Bears beat that I am a fan of, but this guy right here is a really good person. One of the first dudes who I met on the beat when I did that Vegas game a couple years ago. So, Herb, man, welcome to the show.
My brother, what's happening, man? Thanks for having me. Glad to be here. Mama, I made it.
I'm glad you on here, man. This is I told you about this idea maybe like a couple weeks ago, and I told everybody, man, we're doing it different. I'm not gonna hold you this year. I really just want to make this like kind of like the closest thing you get to a barbershop, but with like niggas is actually knowledgeable though. You know what I'm saying? Not
just spewing shit around.
You're right. Exactly. That's exactly what I wanted to do, man. So we'll bring Mikey and Dante in later in the interview. They had a couple questions for you, man. But let's start off, man. You have an interview with QB1 dropping soon. You and Justin Fields. I'm looking forward to that. We are officially about 48 hours away from this game. Now, I know the talks we had at camp. How are you feeling about the Bears in this first game?
Look, man, I feel okay about the Bears, right? I feel okay. It would have been better if they were able to, stay healthy throughout the course of training camp. The offensive line that they put together, I thought that would have been a good group. They were able to develop some continuity throughout training camp and preseason. I'm talking about going left to right with Braxton Jones, Tevin Jenkins, Cody Whitehair, Nate Davis, and Darnell Wright. Unfortunately, due to injuries, they didn't really get to be on the field that much. And so now they're going into it with a different group. You got Lucas Patrick inserted in there. You moving Cody back over to left guard. And Nate Davis has been mostly out of the lineup the entire summer, whether it's injuries, personal reasons. He missed it yesterday. He was a full participant today. So we'll see, man. But it's hard to feel as good as you would like to have felt about the offensive line coming in. Same thing with the defense. They signed DeMarcus Walker. You were hopeful that, he would be a key figure in terms of them being able to get after the passer. Then they add Yannick Ngakoue late. They obviously brought over Tremaine Edmonds to be, the leader of that defense in the middle. Talk about Jaquan Brisker having another year playing next to Eddie Jackson. But all those guys, again, missed the majority of the summer and the majority of training camp. So didn't have a chance to get chemistry. So I feel like it may take them a couple games to get up to full speed. But I feel okay about where they are since those guys are back and healthy and ready to play. That being said, man, are we ready to get predictions for the game? Or no, we're not going there yet.
We gonna get there in a minute. We're gonna get to the predictions when I bring my guys on. But I know when we were talking about I think it was a camp, it was me, you, and Greg Braggs, and we were both saying like we're not picking the Bears until like they actually beat them. But I kind of feel like the main feeling, at least for me, and a lot of Bears fans I see, is a lot of panic, and not really for me personally. I'm cool with it. I think they will win the game, but I feel like it's a lot of PTSD. I feel like a lot of people are not thinking with the football mind, just thinking, oh, it's still the Packers, and not thinking that big bad man is over in East Rutherford, New Jersey right now. So, what are some actual challenges that you think this current Packer brings that could make things a little dicey for the Bears?
I think they bring the ghost of 4 and the ghost of 12. Like, I know you're saying like that's not how we should be thinking about this, but I think that's real. I think it's real for the entire fan base of Chicago. I think it's real inside Soldier Field. I think it may even be real inside of Hallis Hall. Now, I know they got a bunch of young players and a bunch of new guys who don't know nothing about this rivalry. I talked to one of the rookies in the locker room this week, and he was like, I don't know nothing about this rivalry. I was like, bro, don't say that to nobody else. Like, and don't tell no other reporter that. They're going to make you look crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're going to say which one of them it was. But I think that even with that being said, I think it's just hard to get over the fact they've lost the last 8. I think you're talking about like 24 of the last 29. Like, it's just been absolutely crazy. And so for me, probably is a little PTSD, but it's just impossible for me to say I'm picking the Bears over the Packers until I actually see them do that. And that's even, I think Justin Fields is better than Justin Love, right? I think that's the case. I don't know that to be true. I haven't seen enough of Justin Love to say definitively that that's the case, but hopefully he's not. Like, can Justin Love at least, I mean, Jordan Love, can he at least not be a first ballot Hall of Famer? Like, can he?
Right. Can he, like, I personally want to be terrible, but like, I can handle him being Dak. Like,
I can handle him being a second ballot Hall of Famer. Like, go in on your second chance. Like, don't.
I don't even want him. I don't want him anywhere near Canton. I want him to be, and on the closer he get to Canton is driving there. Like, I don't want him nowhere near there.
My God, it's crazy. Like, they can't run it back again, right? They can't do it again.
Lightning don't strike 3 times. That's what I'm telling people. That's what I'm hoping.
So.
That's what I'm hoping.
I mean, they got Christian Watson is out, so the Bears got a chance. I ain't gonna front. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears win. Part of me really thinks that they should win, but even in thinking that they should, I'm not picking them to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my predictions in a minute when we bring Mikey and Dante on in a second. But I think, like, the main story here, and this is what I wanted to talk to you about, because the Justin Fields thing. Justin Fields is make or break for. I don't think it's make or break for his career, but I do feel like we have to see something. It is year 3, second year in this system. He has weapons now. He's got DJ Moore. Chase Claypool is back. Flu said he had a good week of practice. You've been updating your Fluke's, your Claypool.
Chase Claypool,
yeah. You got him. You've got Darnell Mooney. You got 2 tight ends. I think he has everything he needs. So my fear here is I have to see it. Like, I don't think I'm gonna be fully at peace with it. So I see a full season. That's just, as a Bears fan, I've never seen that from a quarterback. What do you think is what do you think would be an acceptable season for not just the fan base, but also if you're Ryan Poles, you think, okay, I don't have to go looking for what I got to do to get up to get Caleb Williams. We've got a guy here. What do you think Justin has to do for that?
Yeah, I think it's mostly an eye test. Fans have a hard time with that, and they want, statistics to be placed on it. And I will give some statistics on the back end of this answer, but I think it's mostly an eye test. It's seeing his how comfortable he is in the offense. It's seeing his progression in the offense. How quickly does he get the ball out of his hands? How quickly does he find answers to what the defense is doing to him post-snap, pre-snap? He certainly knows what he wants to do offensively. Pre-snap, he's even able to read what the defense seems to be doing. But post-snap, the defense shows you zone, they bring pressure, or they show pressure and drop in the zone. How quickly can he find those answers? That's the next step. Can we get a couple of examples of, late in the half, or this first half or second half, Bears get the ball, they got to go, 70, 75 to at least get a field goal. Can he get the offense down there in a 2-minute process? Those types of things are what you're looking for to see, has he taken that next step? Now, if you want to put some numbers on it, listen, I know he's talking about 4,000. Some people want to see that because we've never, ever seen in Chicago, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But, 17 games, and who knows if he's going to play 17 games. He runs a lot. He gets hits a lot. Quarterbacks get hurt a lot. So I don't know if he'll play 17. But if he does play 17, is it like 3,400 should be the minimum, right? You talk about 200 yards a game. That should be the floor. And so I would say at least 3,400 is what you're looking for in terms of passing yards from him. Now, touchdowns, we'll see what that looks like, but I expect him to be, mid-20s with that as well. And, I think that Justin has everything he needs. I think that Ryan Poles and his staff has done a pretty good job to eliminate a lot of the reasons why Justin Fields couldn't, necessarily reach his full potential, or why you couldn't have a full, accurate assessment of his play because of all the things that are going on around him. I think they've done a good job of addressing many of those reasons, getting him a legitimate number 1 receiver, pushing that wide receiver room down from the top. So now that he's properly slotted where he belongs, Chase Claypool, you re-sign Komet, you bring in Robert Tonyan to bolster that tight end room. You try to do some things to address the offensive line. We talked about the injury concerns there. But I think for the most part, you've done what you could do in one offseason to address the reasons that Justin Fields couldn't necessarily reach his ceiling. I think at this point, with him being in the second year of this offense, we should see the best version of who JF1 is.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one, man. We're gonna bring in the guys right now, Mikey and Dante, to the room. They have some questions to ask you, man. Dante, Mikey, welcome back to the show. I don't know if I'm. Here we go. There we go. This is live TV, people. There we go. So, Mikey, Dante, man, y'all got some questions for her, man. Let's get into it.
All right, what's good, bro? Nice to finally meet you.
Tell you what's the word, good brother. Appreciate you, man. Been watching y'all do y'all thing for a minute, man. Salute.
Hey, man, same with y'all. We really fuck with the bigs, bro. Y'all always show love. And one of the questions I had is, much like us at the barber chair, you yourselves when you're out there. So, like, what is it like being black in that space? Because I know for me, baseball is a little different. And, like, a lot of times when I go in the press box, I'm the only black person in there. So, like, what is it like from your perspective being in the press box and being in that atmosphere?
Yeah, I look at it as a responsibility to show up authentically, right? To show up who I am as I am. So I'm in there. I got my J's on. I got hoodies on. I walk like I walk. I talk like I talk. And I think that representation matters, right? I think that I look at it as a bit of a responsibility to show that I'm very, very capable of doing my job. I'm good at my job, but I don't want you to look at me as like some exceptional Negro. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
everybody, like you usually look at people like me. Oh, he got tattoos on his neck, and he got hoodies and J's and Timbs and shit. And you got an idea of who those people are, and I want you to understand that while you can look at me and say, "Oh, that's my equal, that's my colleague, he do his job very well." Don't look at me like, "Oh, he must be a different one." No, I'm just like everybody else from 71st and Jeffrey. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to understand that, and so that's how I show up. I think that's just a part of my responsibility. I carry that with me, but it's also like, while I'd be lying to say I don't think about it, but it's also just the ability. It's like second nature, just the ability to be who you are and not be like moved by a bunch of middle-aged white dudes around me. Like, whatever, I see y'all, cool, we hear the same thing, but I'm gonna show up as I am every time.
Yeah, no, definitely, bro. And just one more question before I toss it over to Mikey. Just give me one player on both sides of the ball that you really looking forward to this season.
6, man. Kyler Gordon on defense. I think he's gonna have a monster year playing that nickel, man. I know he still wants to be outside. He ain't made no, misconceptions about it. He would still like to do both if he could. But I think eliminating that dual responsibility from him and allow him to focus on just playing the nickel is going to be huge for him. He's got all of the skills that you need. He's got those twitch abilities. He's got great instincts. He's physical. He wants to stick his nose in there. I think he's going to have a absolutely monster year for the Bears at the nickel. If you flip over to the other side, I know the connection between DJ and Justin. That's legit. I think DJ's going to have a huge year, but I think Darnell Mooney is going to lead Bears in yards per catch. I think Darnell Mooney is going to, I don't know if Darnell Mooney is ever going to have a catch like this less than 10 yards. He's going to be continually making plays down the field. Every time Moon catches the ball, it's going to be 15, 20, 30, 40 because of what DJ Moore is going to bring to the offense and the attention that he takes away. It's going to allow Getty to scheme up Moon in a way that gets him on, linebackers or strong safeties or even, those nickel corners, and he's going to be able to get balance with those. So I'm expecting a huge season from Mooney. Not to say he's going to have more yards or more catches than DJ. I don't necessarily think that's going to be true, but the catches that Moon does have, they're going to be big ones.
Okay,
definitely. Mikey,
nice to meet you, G. My number one question is, outside of, I think we all we're all interested and focused, laser focused in on seeing Justin Fields' growth. Outside of Justin Fields, what is the main storyline you want to see from this iteration of the Chicago Bears? The 20, it's the second year of the Eberflus regime. So what are you looking for outside of Justin this year?
Yeah, I'm glad you said the second year of the Eberflus regime. I think that he came in that first year, and I do think he was able to establish a culture and establish a standard and expectation for how he wants his guys to play. And I think for the most part, they absolutely bought into that. You saw guys, flying around the field, hustling to the echo of the whistle. They getting sideline to sideline. Like, you saw guys playing through the white lines. Like, they was doing all of those types of things. I think they bought into his principle. I don't think he gave them a choice. Like, either you're going to buy in or you can get on. And I think eventually they kind of bought into that. And I saw a team that was grossly outmanned and devoid of talent, but they were still competing. They were still in all those games. And I think that now that you have this influx of talent, if you can add the talent and keep that same mentality, then you should have a pretty dangerous team, right? So if you can get, the top end talent, you brought in a legitimate number one receiver in DJ, you bring in an all pro type middle linebacker in Tremaine Evans, you bring in all these different things, you got the top 10 pick at right tackle. Now you should be able to say, okay, now we got the talent to go with the mentality. And if you can marry those two things and stay healthy, this team should be playing some meaningful football deep into December.
Yeah, I think that's all. I think that's all we're really looking for. I don't think any of us have Super Bowl aspirations this year. We know there's a growing process, but I look back, as it pertains to Eberflus, I look back to that home game the Bears had. I think it was about 2 years ago when the Colts came and Nick Foles was starting at QB for the Bears. Yeah. And I just remember thinking, like, holy shit, these motherfuckers on the Colts defense are flying to the ball. Kenny Moore, Darius Leonard, like they were going crazy. So I think, with the additions that they made, it's Tyreek Stevenson and Dexter and, Kyler Gordon and Brisket, I think we're going to probably start to kind of see some of that long, athletic, and just flying to the ball. And like you said, if they've bought into the hits principle, then it's only gonna elevate the program more going forward, because that's gonna be expected out of everybody.
Now they got some dogs on that side of the ball, Mikey, for real, bro. Like they got some dudes that can really disrupt what the OC wants to do. They can get their hands on the ball. I think Tyreek gonna lead this team in picks. I think he's gonna have about 6 of them. Now I also think he's gonna get his young ass cooked a couple times. I think he's gonna get caught with his hand in the cookie jar a couple times because he's so aggressive, and so he gonna bite on some double moves. He gonna see some out route coming his way and try to jump in and let his man streak up the side. He's gonna be a couple times. He's gonna be like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? He's also going to get his hands on the ball because he's going to make those breaks on the ball. So he's going to make those kind of plays. I think that Jaquan, I've said this since last summer, I think that dude has everything you need to be a perennial Pro Bowl performer. I love the way Jaquan plays the game. It's just about him staying healthy. This concussion thing, I asked him about the concussion things and whether or not that would influence him to kind of change the way he plays. And he was like, I don't know how to play no other way. He's like, that's all I can do is fly around and stick my face mask in there. So he's going to continue to do that. Hopefully, he can stay away from concussions and some of those injuries. But he's on the field 15 games. I can't see him not being a Pro Bowler. That dude is just nasty. Told you what I think about Kyler Gordon already. I'm a huge Jalen Johnson guy. I think he's going to continue to ascend, and hopefully he's able to, get that extension from the Bears. Bojack was having a phenomenal season last year before he went out. If he can pick up where he left off, that back end could be as good as anybody's back end in the league. And I don't mean that just I'm a Bears fan and I cover the team. They legit, like they got what you need if Tyreek's who they think he is and who I think he is. So, man, that defense is crazy. And you talk about Tremaine Evans just being a multiplier in the middle of that defense. We ain't seen nothing like that since, you know what I'm saying, to have a dude with that style. I mean, this dude is humongous. The first thing you think when you see, like, damn, this dude big as hell. And then he can get sideline to sideline. He can get 30 yards down the deep middle. It's crazy. And just his length in itself, closing those windows, impacting those slants, taking away that hole in between the linebackers and the safeties. Man, he's a multiplier that's going to help everybody else out. So, the defense front got to do their thing. But you mentioned Coach Eberflus and his past defenses. They never really had no crazy, big name D ends, right? Yeah. And so it was just, that secondary. They had interior defensive men. So I think that if this defense can stay healthy, I expect this defense to be really good. I mean, they might be top 10 good. If they can stay healthy, they should.
That would help a lot, man. One last, kind of 2-part question before we get you up out of here, man. It's prediction time. Now, of course, Mikey, and Dante will do our full. We're gonna do full more breakdown after this. I know Mikey got a lot of shit to say because he's been going crazy in the group chat the last couple of days. But who do you got winning on Sunday? And also, what do you think the Bears' record will be? And is it playoffs or no playoffs for the guys?
Ay. Fuck. You know what, man? I just got done doing a hit with WGN Radio, and I was telling them the same thing I told you at the top of the show, that I ain't picking the Bears to beat the Packers until they do. But I didn't just talk myself into the other shit now. Now I'm picking.
Right. That's how it be. That's how it be. That's how it be.
Come to the dark side.
Let's start talking about
No, you know
Brisker, Gordon, and you're like, oh shit, fuck it.
Yeah.
You know what? No, I'm not. I'm still not doing it. I feel like Tony Dungy. You know how Tony Dungy spent that whole Super Bowl like, oh, we're not kicking the devil. We're not kicking the devil. And then he woke up that morning like, we kick it to that nigga. And he was like, house. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm still not picking the Packers until they do. I want the Bears to win. I hope the Bears win. I certainly think they can. It would not surprise me if they do. But just due to my past trauma, you know what I'm saying? My history of abuse in this relationship, I'm picking the Packers, man. I'm going Packers. 24-21 seems reasonable, and unfortunately, I think they come to Soldier Field and do it to us again, man.
Oh man, that's gonna be an interesting day on the web the next day. Where do you got them finishing? Like overall, where you got the Bears?
I think the Bears. I got them somewhere between 7 wins and 10 wins. I think so. I've settled in right around 9. I think they could be 9 and 8. Okay. I think that'll lead them right to what I was saying about having meaningful football in late December. And now you know how they go, division leaders, wild card in the hunt. I think the Bears will be in the hunt column, and I think that's a good place for them to be at this time. And it wouldn't surprise me if they sneak into the playoffs and get one of those wild card spots. I think that would be dope. I don't think they are in a position to any kind of significant run in the playoffs, but I think they can sneak in there. I think they can sneak in. So I'm getting them right at 9 and 8 is my prediction for this team.
I think that would be a tremendous upgrade. I definitely think the NFC is the JV league of the NFL. So I definitely think there would be a shot for them to get in there. And like I've been telling people, for my personal travel schedule, I want if that last game in Lambeau is like, clinching, I will be there. If not, I will be in sunny California, not dealing with that.
I'm not looking forward to that, bro. I'm not looking forward to that week 18 at Lambeau. It's probably gonna be super
at Lambeau,
cold, snowy,
freezing. Yeah,
polar vortex.
But if we got something on the line, then
if we got something on the line, I'll be there. I'll be hyped to go, man. But Herb, man, thank you for joining us. It's always good to talk to you, man. Looking forward to seeing you on Sunday for the game. Let the people know where they can follow you on Twitter and Instagram, everything you got going on.
Most definitely, man. First of all, thank y'all so much for having me, man. I appreciate it. Fan of what y'all do. Y'all do it the right way. Y'all do it super, super dope. It definitely feel like kicking back in the barber chair and just shooting the shit with the guys, man. But like you said, knowledgeable guys that know the game on the football side. So salute to everything y'all got going on. You can follow me at Herb Howard 411. Keep up with my work. You can follow the Bigs on Twitter at It's the Bigs. I do got the Justin Fields one-on-one. That's going to drop on Saturday. It'll be on the Bigs website. It'll be on the YouTube. You can follow the Bigs.us for that. But that'll be dropping on Saturday. Definitely looking forward to it. That was a cool conversation. It's kind of pulling the curtain back on who Justin is. It's not it wasn't super football-y, how many yards you're going to throw for type shit. Just a little bit of who he is. And so I was super cool, man. Looking forward to that dropping. But again, thank y'all for having me, man. It was super dope. Went back too fast. I'm like, I got to go already. Y'all kicking me out already. My fade ain't even done. You know what I'm saying?
This will not be the last time we have you on here, man. So we definitely going to have you on here again during this season, bro. We definitely appreciate you. So I'm going to holler at you on Sunday, G.
Most definitely.
All right, bro. So we're gonna get into our get into the rest of our Bears. You dig here, man. We're gonna do our preview. Not really. What's the preview joint that we're gonna be doing here, man? So it's time for picks. We got to thank you, Dante, super producer Dante. I hella forgot about the rundown. Thank you for that. This is why you have people do stuff. But shout out to Herb Howard for joining us. As you see, this is the rundown. We're going to get more in depth with our Bears-Packers preview. We just had Herb talk. We're going to give our predictions, our record predictions. We're going to talk about the state of the Chicago White Sox, which I'm understanding that Mikey's going to have a great time talking about. And unfortunately, we have to talk about the one winning team in Chicago, and this happens to be the Chicago Cubs. We're going to get into that. But let's just get, right back into our Bears-Packers talk here on the local hour here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You. Scott, Mikey, and Dante here with y'all, man. Let's just talk about it. So, Mikey, how you feeling? because I know you've been in the chat. You've been dealing with a little nervousness. And now I feel like the last couple of days to switch to confidence. Which ways are you leaning 48 hours into kickoff?
Man, I'm a nervous wreck. I think that's the state of being a Bears fan, But I'm leaning towards a Bears W. I think Christian Watson being out is a huge loss for Jordan Love. Regardless of what the rivalry is, and lately it feels like it's just a rivalry in name, being that they beat us 8 times in a row. Like the numbers are something crazy. It's going to be a hostile environment opening day with the expectations that the Bears have as far as, behind Justin Fields, right shoulder. The fan base is expecting a lot out of Shorty. And I think they're going to go into that stadium, charged up. So I think the Bears win. I think it's going to be a classic black and blue division type of game. I think we're going to see a lot of running. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I got the Bears winning 24-17, which is, and I guess that's low scoring in today's NFL, when you see people throwing 30, 31, but for us to put up 24, that's high scoring for us. Yeah. But I think 24-17 Bears. And if we're going to get to, I know Scott, we're going to get into your predictions as far as win total, Dante, going off what Herb said, if he got anywhere between 8 to 10 wins, then this is a game that you got to win to get there. You got to get this one at home against the Packers. So I got the Bears winning, and I'm definitely I'm locked in. I probably won't be able to sleep.
Yeah, no, I definitely got the Bears winning, and I got them putting up 27.
That's what I did. Talk that talk, Dante. That's what I'm talking about.
I got the Bears 27-14, and the reason at this point the Bears, I'm really at peace with it. Like, and what I say by that, and I know this is scary, and we always talk about Bears PTSD and all of that, but at the end of the day, everything that Poles has done has been what we've been asking for as Bears fans, to actually build a football team for him to try to work. And, we're still working on the trenches, but in this year 2, like you said, year 2 of the Eberflus era, I think coming into it, I think Justin's going to put on the show. Like, I think, a lot of the emphasis on him being a one-read passer, well, now he's in year 2 of the system. And now he's more comfortable in the system. He has better weapons, more people he can trust that he can utilize and put out there in space. I think we talk about Tyler Scott, the receiver from Cincinnati. I think, him and Mooney work in the middle. Him and Cole Kmet. I think a lot of people are going to be able to eat across the middle, as JR said a couple episodes ago. But no, I think, like I said, I don't think Jordan Love is going to be bad. But I think coming into week 1 in Chicago, game of the week, I think Justin is going to really put people on notice that, I'm not just a runner. Like, they're going to scheme it up. I think it's going to be a good game.
Well, I'm with you, Dante. I am letting go of all my fear of the past. You have to do that. I'm encouraging. I want everybody. I'm looking at the camera right now. I want everybody in Bears Nation to hear me. In the words of Ebony Maw on Infinity War, hear me and hear me good. This game right here is going to turn the tide. It is about time that we take the monkey off our back. It's time to let go of that fear. Aaron Rodgers is not going to walk through that door. He's just not. We don't have to worry about that anymore, which I am happy that we don't have to worry about. Brett Favre should be in a Mississippi prison right now. He's not walking through that door. We don't have to worry about Brett Favre. And it's time. We're going to have the best quarterback in this division, and I feel like I can say that for the first time in my life without lying to myself. I think that this team is going to put up points. I think that Justin is going to put on a show. I think my man is going to throw for he's going to have 3 touchdowns. I don't know if he's going to throw for 3. I think he's going to throw for 2. He's going to take 1 to the crib, and I think this is going to be an electrifying game. I'm going with the Bears 27-10. That is my score, 27-10. I think that Christian Watson will not be playing. That's going to be a big big loss for the Packers. Romeo Doubs was questionable all week. We don't know how big he's going to be. And we can keep talking about, the preseason thing. Everybody was like, well, what did Justin show in preseason? Jordan Love showed this. And not to say that I didn't like what I saw from Jordan Love. I thought Jordan Love, for what preseason wasn't bad. But the lights are bright. It's his show now. This is not one of those games where he's coming off the bench for Rodgers because Rodgers is hurt or they're sitting people out towards the end of the year. This is his show. And it's going to be loud up in Soldier. Like, this game is going to feel like a college homecoming game to me. It's going to have a real college atmosphere to it. It's going to be 80 degrees on Sunday. Everybody going to be feeling good. They're going to have Bears legends in the house. I think they confirmed that Buckets is going to be there. First week of the season is usually like alumni game. All the alumni.
Then the Mongo tribute.
The Mongo tribute. It's going to be fired up. I'm not patriotic at all, but when that anthem hit and then fighter jets coming out, you're going to see me like Nick Sirianni in the press box. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have that Denzel tear from Glory. So it's going to be a good one. And I think it's time for the Bears, man. I think the Bears win big on Sunday.
Bro, I sent you that video from the All-Star game, boy. When them engines get the rumbling.
Yeah.
You stand up and salute that motherfucker. You ready to run on the field. But nah, bro. It's a new era, and a part of it as fans, you got to let a lot of that shit go. Like, I understand what's happened in the past. I'm not saying it because I necessarily believe in like juju and all that other shit, because at the end of the day, the best players are going to play and perform. And so this team, has been a prepared team. We've talked about the hits principles. We talked about everybody buying in. And at this point, I believe Justin Fields is going to take that leap that we expect him to see, that we expect to see. I think it's going to happen.
I mean, there's no better game for him to take the leap, or no better start against the Packers. There's a lot of uncertainty for me as far as it comes to the O-line. I know Nate Davis will be playing. I just feel with everything, football more than any of the sports, any of the pro, American sports that we follow, timing is everything. It's all about timing, and the repetitions matter. The practice matters. The preseason matters as far as building that continuity, especially when when the number one wart last year for the last 2 years was protecting Justin Fields. You know what I'm saying? He can't thrive unless they're protecting him. So there's just the uncertainty there. That's where I was, tossing and turning and like, fuck, what is gonna happen? Got me rolling Caleb Williams and Michael Penix and tape. Like, I don't know, this motherfucker might not do it. But I think this is perfectly set up for the Bears to have a big week. I don't think it's gonna be as much as a blowout as both of y'all think. But let's get it, man. They lace him up the same way, and Aaron Rodgers is not there. I echo them same sentiments. Who's that? Packers defense underachieved last year. I know who that is. That's my cousin JP. Shout out to my cousin. That's very
true. Shout
out
to everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to y'all, man.
Shout out to my mother-in-law. Shout out to my mother-in-law, Irene.
Shout out. We appreciate all the love. Look at Dante with the production skills.
You know what I'm saying? Doing my thing, bro. It's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. I'm telling you.
Look at Dante with the production skills. Shout out to everybody in the chat, showing love. Let's get into record predictions for the Bears, man. I'm going to start first. I think what Herb said was perfect. I can see this team going anywhere from 7 to 10 wins. And I watched Big Cat. He did his Bears prediction, and he had him come out to 10-7. I was looking like, it makes a lot of sense. I think I'm gonna go on. I said 7 and 10. I've been saying 7 and 10, but you know what? Since we feeling positive today, I'm gonna take it up a notch, man. I'm gonna go with Herb said. I'm going 9 and 8, and I don't know if they'll make the playoffs because it's gonna be tough. I don't know. It might take 10 wins to get you in, but they will be an in the hunt team. And I'm talking about a real in the hunt team. And it's gonna be
at
around
the top of the graphic. At the top of the graphic. Right.
Not the niggas who are technically mathematically still in it, but we really know they're not going anywhere. Like, not that type of thing. Really in the hunt. And I think that's a massive upgrade from last year. I think that 7 wins to me is the number that I have for me to not be disappointed with this season. And I think anything less than 7 wins means that Justin Fields was just not good, and we might actually be in the market for a quarterback. I think if let's say Justin takes a leap, double-digit wins. Like that, there's so many different ways that this season could go, and it all rests on the shoulders of Justin. I think Justin is going to have, if healthy, I think he'll play at least 15 games if we just base it off the last 2 years. And I think that this team is rallying around him. Nate Davis is going to be playing on Sunday. The offensive line is going to be playing. You're going to have Lucas Patrick will be your center. Cody Whitehair will be left guard. We're going to have an actual pro offensive line. I think it's going to help tremendously. Actual NFL caliber wide receivers. And if this defense is good as Herb thinks it's going to be, as I think it could be, really depends on the pass rush. Who knows, man? This division, despite how Detroit won, despite the fact that I think they'll be 2-0 next week, this division is going down to the end of the wire, man. So I'm gonna go Bears 9-8. My final answer, and I will say they will get the 7th seed. I'm feeling good today. Like Mitch said in Peyton Poole, it's love on the court day. Love on the court.
Yeah.
I'm showing love.
I'm showing love today. No, I agree with that 100%. 9-8 was my prediction in a wild card berth. I think eight wins is my floor because I think Justin is that good with added weapons still to win at least 8 games. And so I think if he takes that leap, then we're talking about an 11-win team. Possibly winning the division. But yeah, last year Detroit made the Detroit didn't make the playoffs, but they were 9-8 and they kept them in the hunt all season.
Seattle
got in. Seattle got in at 9-8.
So that 9-8 range is gonna get us into that wild card berth. So I think 9-8. But like we've been saying the whole pod, like this is the whole show. This is about seeing those pop plays from Justin, the eye test, as far as a passer, passing the ball. Like your cousin said, bro, not holding the ball, getting it out, going through your reads. You should year 2 in the system. I know your receivers are new, but your receivers are better. So you should be more comfortable in making your reads and putting the ball where it's supposed to be. And we've seen him when he's confident and just fires it in there, he throws one of the best balls in the league. So I think this is the season, bro. I think this is the year that Poles and Eberflus and everybody, we continue to build on it. And I think it's going to go up.
Oh yeah, I'm rocking with y'all. Y'all got me believing this shit. I'm riding with 9-8, and I could see a 10-7. I mean, I'm very big. I know. A lot of people they don't take into the account, but I'm very big in strength and schedule. Because if you look at the numbers, the math is the math, and the facts are the facts. Last year, and 6 out of the top 12 teams that had the easiest schedule, they made the playoffs. You had teams like Cincy, Bucks, Niners, Chiefs, Chargers, and Seattle. This year, the Bears are 6th in top 10 for strength of schedule. You got teams like Atlanta, Saints, Niners, the Bears, the Steelers, Seattle, Eagles, and the Packers that are there. This is a very winnable schedule. I mean, if you pull up the schedule and you look at it, you can talk yourself into fucking 11 wins realistically if Justin Fields takes that. If Justin Fields takes that jump. So I'm riding with 9-8. I do think we can get into the playoffs on 9-8. It just all depends how you get there. If you're beating NFC teams, then then definitely you got the upper hand. You gotta take care of the division though. I think we haven't won a division game and I think it's something crazy. I think it's like 2 full seasons or something like that. So so maybe we all got a little
not
bit.
2 full seasons because we won the Thanksgiving game against Detroit. Because I remember I was there and I was like,
oh, that's right.
Everybody thought Nagy was gonna get fired if they lost and them niggas ended up winning.
I was in North Carolina for that one. Yeah, I remember that one. I mean, but that's been a long ass time. You know what I'm saying? That's been over a full calendar season. So I just want to see from Justin just the anticipatory throws, trusting in his arm and trusting in his reads and getting out there. Don't break the pocket too early. There are a lot of times where the pocket is clean. Stay in that pocket, make that throw. But I think this team can really do something in what I anticipate to be a weak NFC this year.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. Before we wrap up our NFL portion, Mikey, let's give your parlay of the week for people, man. Before we wrap the NFL part up.
So for my parlay of the week, I'm gonna give you a prop bet since we're talking Bears and the Packers. I love the value on Aaron Jones to score a touchdown. It's at plus 160. Throw $100, you win 160. In 9 career games against the Bears, he has 11 total touchdowns. We know now that with Christian Watson being out, You got Romeo Dobbs still kind of hobbled. He's questionable. He might be out too. We do not know, but we know that we know that the Packers are going to run the ball. We know that the Packers are going to try to run the ball. Let's be honest, that the run defense and our front line is our weakness so far in the defense. So I love Aaron Jones, anytime touchdown. And then for our parlay, we're going to go, it's a plus 515. It's a 4-leg parlay. So we're going to take the Ravens minus 9.5. They got to win by 10 or more. We're going to take the Steelers. We're going to buy the 1.5 on the Steelers. The Steelers currently right now, depending where you shop at, are plus 2.5. We're going to buy the point, and it's going to be Steelers plus 3.5, meaning the Niners can win. They just can't beat them by more than 3. And we're going to take the Commanders and the Jags on the money line, win outright. That's plus 515, $100 win you 515. That's some drinking money. That's some shoe money. That's some phone bill money. So with everything that I give y'all, trust me, I'm betting it too. So we'll come back on Monday and we'll see how we do.
Definitely, man. Definitely. So stay in tune with that. Mikey gonna be getting y'all money all season. So definitely stay in tune with that, man. So that's what we got for the football. We're gonna wrap it up with our last 2 topics. It's probably gonna take the next 20 minutes. We're gonna talk a little Chicago baseball, unfortunately. And you can see the look on Dante's face. That means, nigga, I don't want to talk about this. The Chicago White Sox. The Chicago White Sox have had, to say that this has been the season from hell would be the biggest understatement ever. Anything that you could possibly think will go wrong this season has went wrong. Now, I think, if you watched the couple episodes we had of our He Gone podcast, we like, oh, well, they got to cut the bait. They got to get rid of Kenny. They got to get rid of Rick. And they got to get rid of both of those guys. They got rid of both of those guys, which gave the fan base excitement for about an hour. Maybe only 45 minutes before Mr. Bob Nightingale and his beanhead ass came in and destroyed all our moves and told us that they're going to hire from within and bring Chris Getz. I also want to say, in the chat room, I kept telling you guys that he was going to get hired. I know we all was trying to keep hope alive. Mike, you was trying to keep hope alive. I'm like, in the words of Joseph Budden, you can't fool a real nigga. You can fool them. You can fool the ones who aren't paying attention. I saw it coming. I have officially boycotted them. I don't have my Dodger hat on right now, but I do see my Dodger hat right there, and I will be rolling with them, even though they're going to get run in the playoffs too, because the pitchers are hurt, and their other good pitcher is going to prison, and we'll talk about that, my goofy mog of the week in this episode.
And Mookie just got hurt too.
And Mookie just got hurt too. So I'm not expecting much from them either. But I will give Mikey the floor. He is the biggest White Sox fan of the 3 in our group chat. He is the one who's most engaged with it. He's been in since birth. I'm going to give you the floor, my man. What are you feeling on our team right now?
If there's a level below apathy, I'm there. It's tough. It's tough. I've watched more, I got the Cubs game on right now. I've watched more Cubs baseball this year than I have White Sox. Just the whole product on the South Side, like it's embarrassing to the sport. Jay Reinsdorf is moving very Dan Snyder-ish for my NFL fans, just from the process. I know, Scott, you're big on process. The process of firing, Rick and Kenny, but going to Chris Getz and how he got there, and just hearing the press conference in which he made it sound like Chris Getz was reinventing baseball by what he was saying. The way he's teaching the game. And have you seen some of the guys that we have come up? Yeah, I'm watching. Who? Nobody has come up through the system to be anything but Luis Robert. And that's a grown-ass man that was playing in Cuba with men. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. He was just getting his feet wet here in the States. So it's embarrassing. It's hard to get behind that team. When you have an owner publicly flat out say, before the season's even over, before we even get into September, I'll tell you, he said it exactly verbatim. I'll tell you for what. We will not be in the Shohei Ohtani sweepstakes.
We do not want the best player in baseball.
We do not want the best player in baseball ever.
Yeah.
We will not be given 10-year contracts and pitchers. but we will try to improve the team. Like you've said it right there. You're just going to stay status quo. You're still going to remain cheap as shit. And how is the team going to get better? There's nobody near, maybe they bring up Costa and Montgomery next year, but even then, like you can't say that we're trying to stay competitive yet sell off key pieces from, the bullpen. And we got to get about 3 to 4 new starting pitchers. We probably got to, I would say it's time to move on from TA at shortstop. You're going to need a legit second baseman. You're going to need, Andrew Vaughn for everything, that's a Golden Spikes winner, in college and everything, for everything and all the hype he's gotten. What is
the
he
niggas
showing?
huff? The niggas huff. Let's just call it
exactly. But okay, but he came up through our minor league system. What did Chris Getz do there that warrants a promotion? You know what I'm saying? Like Jerry Reinsdorf said, the players that have come through the minor league system up to the major league club, like they're a different caliber of ball player, and we got some good players. None of those motherfuckers have done anything. Not one person. Sebi Savala ass. Andrew Vaughn ass. Garrett Crochet injured. Who else? Gavin Sheets ass. It's just white and ass. That's what they look for.
Yeah.
And enter Chris Getz. You know what I'm saying? Lenine Sosa, Jose Rodriguez, Yerman Mercedes. There's
Carson
nobody.
Fulmer.
Carson Fulmer. Yeah, if we go back to
throwback
Carson
names.
Fulmer, if we go back to Carson Fulmer, there's no position player outside of Luis Robert. You know what I'm saying? That has come up through the system. Yeah, you could say TA a while ago, and that's cool, but that it's over for that. We know what it is. We know what we need going forward. From a defensive position at that shortstop position and from an offensive, standpoint. I get that you get on base, but gee, you can't have one fucking home run.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just there's nothing really to get excited for. And then they blatantly they're playing in our fucking faces because they said what we be saying. What fans say, you're hearing from the owners talking about some. Well, the truth of the matter is, this is Chris Getz in his opening press conference. Well, the truth is we do play in the AL Central, so there's always a chance. Like, yo, get the fuck out of here. When are you going to have the temerity, the fucking balls to field a competitive roster that you say, no, this is our division and we're going to be at the top every fucking year? And until they get people that want to have that mindset, then I'm checked out.
Dante, how you feeling, man? You the first one who jumped off the ship. He said
very well. Very well said, brother. Mikey used a lot of them Joe words. I like that. But no, bro, it's time. Like, as White Sox fans, it's one of those things, and I said this to somebody at the All-Star weekend because we were just talking about free agency and stuff like that. Like, it gets to a point where you recognize the patterns and you know who owns your baseball team. So, like, at this point, you know what a team is going to do. It's very rare that a team just comes out of nowhere and says, hey, we're going to spend money. Like, usually teams that do that, they'll get a new ownership, and then that ownership group is telling you, hey, this is how we're going to spend. Like, you see Cohen with the Mets. It's like, okay, yeah, I blew all this money. I'm going to blow another bag to get rid of them and reload my roster. But Jerry Reinsdorf is always going to be the nickel and dime. How can I sneak into the playoffs and make sure I turn a profit? That's what it's about. And the internal hires are just another sign that they don't actually care about the process. They don't respect the process. They got a waiver to not interview any minority hires because Kenny Williams was the GM for so long, which is absolute bullshit. But I mean, Reinsdorf is one of those. He's one of the good old boys. Like, he's in good with the owner. A lot of the younger owners don't like him, but when you have that tenure in such a small, close-knit group like that, his name does ring bells in baseball. So as a fan of the White Sox, you got to just be honest. Like, we caught lightning in a bottle in 2005. So until you get something similar, don't expect much. Like, you're not going to see them put the effort into building the ball club. This is the team that said no to Bryce Harper. This is a team that nickel and dime Manny Machado and tried to sign his brother-in-law like that was going to do something. Like,
with them big suits they be wearing on MLB TV.
The idiotic moves, just the idiotic moves that they've made, bro. Kenny Williams has traded away so much talent. You talk about the people that haven't come up through our system. We always talk about the Tatis trade, but not even attempting to do something with Marcus Semien, who is now one of the best second basemen in the league. Like, that's somebody who came through your system that you missed on. You didn't see that talent. You didn't cultivate that talent. And now we got, we need to start talking about the pitchers and that, the injury history, because we're having a lot of guys get hurt too. So
not even from the pitchers, position players, soft tissue, everybody.
Yeah, that's just they don't stretch. Like, one thing, like I always bring up the Braves, bro. But like, when you see teams every day and you see their preparation, you see them come out and go and stretch, you see them go out and run, you see them working on these things. Like, the White Sox don't do that. Like, they've never been a ball club to do that, and that's why you see, like you said, all the soft tissue, all the pulled hamstrings. The questions about the leader was fucking pathetic when everybody just had a terrible answer. Even though, to Ozzie Guillen's credit, he was like, this guy can't spell high in English. Why are you asking him if he's a leader? Like,
no, it's very true. It's very true.
Ozzie hilarious, though.
Ozzie's hilarious, but that's
Ozzie funny, but he's honest, but also, you can't be campaigning for a fucking job and then say you don't want the job. Like, let's just be real.
Yes,
they're not
exactly,
gonna hire you. They just not fucking with you on that level. But I see in the comment here, it says, why would Chris Getz announce Pedro is coming back when he didn't have to? Very true. Very true. What has Pedro Grifol done to warrant coming back? He admitted that he didn't instill his culture from day one in Arizona. He admitted that he could have been a little tougher on them. Like I don't get it. And it's like you said, Dante, this in Chicago, but Jerry's mindset with all these owners, he wants to win it his way, being a quote unquote smart market team in a big city. You're in Chicago. We look at how we will go crazy for a fucking Bears to win 8 wins this year. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how fucking invested we are into sports. And for an owner to play in our faces, and to be honest, they Cubs fans and everybody can say whatever they want to say about, the stadium's not filled or what. Listen, there are diehard White Sox fans. There are people that spend money every year. There are people that do go and like baseball and know about the sport. And to be playing in their fucking faces and to disrespect them and to continuously put out poor product and have a poor process and to be so arrogant in refuting it back when you're pressed about it. Let me be honest with y'all. Would y'all give a fuck if they moved to Nashville?
No,
I wouldn't.
And that's fucked up because we are White Sox fans. I'm at the point where I could care less, because if y'all not gonna do it right, then what the fuck is the point? What is the point of holding on to something if y'all are just gonna, if y'all are just milking it for what it is, for revenue? You know what I'm saying? We the fucking Cincinnati Reds. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, and we knew this was like a cowardly organization when they canceled Sox Fest. Like,
couldn't even face the fan base.
The one opportunity fans get to voice their opinion about what's going on, you can't even do that. And then when Jerry has his press conference, he handpicks the media he allows in the room. So nobody's going to press him.
Like he did during the Getz press conference. Couldn't face the music there. And the fact of the matter is this, man, it's run by a cowardly organization. That's just really what it comes down to. I know there's Cub fans out there who like to laugh. And I'm not mad at y'all laughing. I'll be real. As White Sox fans, we talked a lot. We definitely talked more than we probably should have. So I'm not mad at them getting their stuff off. But don't laugh too hard, because a lot of you niggas are Bulls fans, okay? And it's the same dude, okay? And so in one way or another, this affects you. As a White Sox fan, like you said, Mikey, we love this team. Like, I'm not gonna allow them to hurt me anymore. It's like a woman who broke your heart, right? You still got love for it, but I'm just not allowing it anymore. I have memories with the White Sox. They won the World Series on my 17th birthday. It doesn't get any bigger than that. So I feel bad for younger White Sox fans, because at least the three of us, we're in our 30s. We'll always remember 2005. No matter what happens in the history of this crappy organization, we'll always have 05. I remember those nights in October. I remember the exact moment I was doing when Scott Podsednik hit the walk-off. I remember the Paulie Grand Slam.
I was there. I was at game 2. I remember my pop surprising me at my grandma's. We were at my grandma's house, and I remember, and just so y'all know, I'm going to break it down, and I've told the group chat, I am a diehard White Sox fan. I have been since I was born. So I was born premature. My mother had me when she was 18 years old. I was born preemie. They left me in the hospital. I had to be in the hospital in the incubator for an extended period of time. But my mother was so fixated on, being by my side and being in the hospital that I forgot the hospital that I was. I see it on the birth certificate. I forgot where I was born, but they had obviously like a sponsorship with the White Sox at that time, and they felt so bad that my mom was just literally looking at me through the glass the whole time that they gave her and my father 2 tickets to get up out of the hospital and to go to a White Sox game. So it was a White Sox Brewers game back when the Brewers were still in the AL Central at that time. And when they came back to the hospital to visit me, there was a birth certificate that I want to say it's Illinois Masonic that I was born at, but on the background, it was on a White Sox paper that says from this date forward, Michael Anthony Andujar, Michael Anthony Rivera is a Chicago White Sox, fan and a part of the organization. And that meant something to my mom. To this day, my mom still has season tickets. Like, my mom still goes. She sent me a picture with Jerry Reinsdorf, and I was fucking pissed. I'm like, and she was like, oh, why you don't like it? And I'm like, I gotta fucking break it down. And she's like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have took the picture. So I didn't grow up on the South Side. I grew up in the Northwest Side, Logan Square, Humboldt Park area, but I've always had an affinity for the White Sox. That's why I go to watch my baseball. And it's fucked up because I love baseball. Baseball is my number one sport. I will sit here, obviously because I'm a gambling addict and I have a fucking major illness. I will sit here, I will sit here and watch a Pirates fucking Rays game, but I love baseball, So the fact that the team I root for doesn't love it as much as I do, I gotta cut ties. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to be 35 years old and I live in Miami. There's plenty of shit I could do to spend my fucking nights and my time than watching a shit product for an organization that has no aspirations of being taken serious and actually winning.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm just gonna close with this. Like you said, I'm a big fan too. Like I've had. The reason I became a White Sox fan, really baseball fans, because of White Sox. I come from a family of mainly Cub fans. Like, my mother from the West Side, she's a diehard Cub fan. Everybody knows West Side is usually, for the most part, root for the Cubs. That's actually a picture of me in a Cubs jersey, and she refused to take it off the family wall because she's a Cubs fan. So it's like, I kind of feel like it's borderline blackmail, but it's still up there. But I became a White Sox fan because my dad would take us to White Sox games. We always go to White Sox games in the summer, 97, 98. And but Frank Thomas signed my glove. Jose Valentin, Ray Durham, like Paul Konerko, Maglio Donia. So we have these memories, but I refuse to let this team hurt me anymore. They have beaten me into submission. You win. So until there is major changes, what I mean by major changes is either Jerry sells the team or he drops dead tomorrow. One of the two. I'm not going to be expecting anything. I can't tell you the next time I'm going to watch a ball game. I don't know. I can't tell you when I will. Maybe Chris Getz will put a somewhat respectable team on the field. I don't think he will. But the thing that I'm a Bulls fan. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not ever gonna stop watching the Bulls. Now, the Bulls are the team that introduced me to sports, obviously because of Michael Jordan. But at least the Bulls fake act like they want to make the playoffs. Now, they'll never win a championship again until they actually get an actual superstar. But at least they fake act like they want to make the playoffs. I've seen this team to play playoffs 3 times. My actual time remember. I was 5 when 1993 happened. I don't really remember. I don't remember 2000 that much either, but this is what really is why I'm just with the team, man. And I'm fed up with them, man. So let's just quickly get to our next point before we wrap this up. We're going to go a little over time today, but just quickly on the good team in Chicago, the Chicago Cubs. They are currently, what's the record? They're losing right now.
They're losing right now, 1-0. It's actually been a really good game.
It was scoreless last time I checked.
Yeah, Zach Gallen and Jamison Tyon. It was really a pitcher's duel. But I mean,
I'll say this: they're 76-65. They lost last night to the Diamondbacks, so they're losing 1-0 right now in the bottom of the 8th. They're currently 2 games back of the Brewers for the NL Central and have a 3-game lead over Arizona for the second wild card spot. It will be 2 if this lead holds on for the Arizona Cardinals. And I come for Cardinals for the Diamondbacks. Well, what do you think about the Cubs? Is this actually like a team that can do something in the playoffs, or what's their trajectory in your opinion?
I think they could win a series, especially if if they get that wild card, they could definitely get into that first round. But more than anything, it shows like I don't want to call it it was a rebuild. It's been successful. We can say that
rebuild,
we can say that they 100% made the right decision on every player they chose not to sign, which is rare.
Except one.
Who was the one?
Schwarber.
But this is my thing with Schwarber, bro, because he's having like the weirdest season ever. Like I know he's like worse than Adam Dunn. Like, yeah, he hit 40 bombs, but like what is he hitting? Like 162 or something? It was something.
No, yeah, that's
ain't like 140. I thought it was worse 140.
Than that. It's something crazy. And he leads off, and he's got almost 40 home runs. But any team will take them 40 home runs. Any team will take that pop.
Yeah. But like I said, besides Schwarber, they made the right decision on every guy they chose not to sign. Even with not bringing back Stroman, I think that's a good decision. Like it's a reason he's bounced around the way he has. Like I don't think you commit long term to Stroman, so they'll have the bread to spend. And we've seen them once again. They have a top 5 farm system in baseball. Like this is the second time we've seen this in the past 10, 15 years. Mm-hmm. But they've been able to build up a top 5 farm system. So I think this year is like kind of like what we talked about with the Bears. This is a step in the right direction because now you're not only competing for a playoff spot, you may win the division. And so to go from that, then next year, I think you'll see them spend some money. I don't know we've talked about them, being in on Shohei, but I think even if they don't go in on Shohei with the recent injury and he's probably not going to pitch next year, they're definitely going to make some moves. And, Dansby was the first step in that. Dansby's a leader. And that's my guy. Dansby's a monster to me. And, they've slowly but surely added more talent and they got some good prospects coming. So I think, outlook for if we would have had this conversation last year and, essentially saying that the Chicago Cubs and White Sox have flipped trajectories, like nobody would have believed it.
I probably would have laughed, but joke's on me.
Yeah.
100%. And I want to shout out my boy, one of my best friends, Debo. He sent me a screenshot that he had since it was like before the season started, and he was giving me like the over under and a win projection for the Cubs. And I laughed at him because I was like, y'all didn't add no 15 win above replacement type of player. You know what I'm saying? He had them like winning like 80 something games, and lo and behold, they're on the trajectory to surpass that. They've successfully pulled off a rebuild, man. Within 2 years, it's pretty fucking quick because they're back now competing for a division. They played really good baseball to end last season. I want to say they won something crazy. And Nick Madrigal almost hit a 2-run homer, but he's got to hit the fucking
we were just talking about that yesterday. Me and Dante talking about that.
That's another person that they didn't develop. That's another person that the White Sox didn't develop that they took top 3, top 5. You know what I'm saying? And he's playing pretty decent ball for them. So the one thing that I'm interested in is how do they build on this going forward after the offseason? Because Cody Bellinger is back to being Cody Bellinger, but he will get paid, and he's not giving no discount. The same way Bengals fans thought Joe Burrow was giving a discount, Cody Bellinger is not going to give them no fucking hometown discount. And I promise you, both of those New York teams will come calling. I would not be shocked if the Dodgers come calling. There's a lot of
come on home, boy.
There's a lot of uncertainty right now with Shohei, and outside of Shohei, Cody Bellinger is the number 2 most prized free agent going into this year. So it's going to be interesting because if they do not re-sign Cody Bellinger, where do they go? So I think they got the opportunity to definitely where they're at right now pull off this division, and they're in position to hold on to a playoff spot here in the wild card with the 3, and anything can happen in the playoffs.
Definitely, man. I agree with y'all. Y'all watch more than I have. I'm kind of tuned out a little bit. I'll be back for the playoffs, but we're gonna wrap this up. Goofy Mog of the week time. This is my first Goofy Mog of the week of the season. So for those of you who are not up to what the Goofy Mog is, we got new people who are on here. The Goofy Mog is basically where I point a person out. In Chicago, the word goofy is the highest disrespect in the land. So this week, my Goofy Mog of the week is Los Angeles Dodgers starting pitcher Julio Arias. And he basically got arrested once again for domestic violence. This time an incident at Expedition Park. For those of you who don't live in Los Angeles, Expedition Park is where LAFC plays. It was around the time LAFC had their game against Inter Miami with Messi. And by the way, it was a huge weekend in LA last weekend. The traffic was worse than usual. Messi was in town. There was the big Dodgers Braves game. Beyonce did like 4 shows. But during all that time, he decided to beat people up again. And this is the second time he's been arrested for. He got arrested for it in May 2019. He suspended 20 games. The case wasn't prosecuted by the LA city attorney after Urias agreed to complete a 52-week domestic violence counseling program. And new information surfaced today via Jeff Passan that there's actually video that is going to be coming out that happened about the incident, which is going to further even, complicate things for him. My take on him is this: he needs to be under the jail. Under the jail. There's no room for guys like him in not just baseball and sports. And I'm honestly tired of men, beating up women and being able to continue to play and do things like that. So I think he needs to get up out of it. I think the Dodgers, if they have any shame, need to cut ties with him right away. And I understand he's going to be a free agent. He shouldn't be offered any money, not just by the Dodgers, but by any team. And I just really think they need to cut all ties. And from a baseball perspective, it sucks for the Dodgers because he was the only dude that they could actually pitch right now for them. So that puts them in an even deeper situation. But I just, put all the love and support to his, I don't know if it was his girlfriend or his wife. I don't know which, if it was one of the two, but all our love and support to her. But get that guy about the sport, man. I'm tired of clowns like that, man. So my goofy mug of the week, given to Julio Arias and everything that he has, brought to all this shit. So, man, that's why I'm gonna go with him, man. So that's all we got for y'all. I'm not gonna hold you. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Everybody who watched on YouTube, everybody who watched on our stream. If you missed the show, the audio will be up on the Barbers Chat Network podcast feeds by tomorrow morning at the absolute latest. So we're gonna have them split up in both hours. If you want to listen to just local hour, we're gonna have both of those. Shout out to Herb Howard of the Bigs for joining us, man. Shout out to Dante, man. Great production job. Let's give it up for Dante. Amazing job. He's just gonna get better than that. Mikey is week 2 for him. You would not know that this dude has not done a lot of podcasts, a lot of shows before this. Mikey is doing another great job this week, man. Shout out to Courtney. She'll be back next week. Of course, we'll be doing Monday and Tuesday. We're gonna be going to our original 2-show-a-week schedule. We're gonna try to make things a little different, make our Monday show different from our Friday show. So we're gonna brainstorm a little bit on that, man. So get in tune with us on Monday. We're gonna recap everything from week 1, get you ready for Monday Night Football, preview a little bit of week 2 with Thursday Night Football and all the games coming up on that. So shout out to everybody who listened. Shout out to everybody who retweeted, posted any clip, YouTube short. We did. Shout out to our guy Mike Gibson, who takes care of the graphics. Shout out my guy Nikhil. He's our amazing video editor who puts in the hours and hours of time to show y'all clips and everything. So we're going to keep doing that. Shout out to H&B Media. Shout out to my guys Pavi, my guys TPJ, who also produce this. And if you also missed the video, of course, the video will be on the Barbers Chat Net YouTube, but it'll also be on the H&B Media YouTube today. Shout out to all our H&B Media fans. That's where we get a majority of our views and listens. So shout out to the whole Hoops and Brews community, because I know a lot of y'all mainly basketball fans, but y'all been messing with me and all the football content we bring. So 79th Dallas season 9, we back this Sunday. Me and Flows will be live from Soldier Field. We'll be giving y'all our post-game reactions. We're gonna do a pre-game video. I'm probably gonna do it right outside Soldier Field. We're gonna have the post-game video, of course, usual. Subscribe to the patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network, because if you want to hear 79th and Hallis first, you need to subscribe to 79th and Hallis tier, which is only $5. You will get the podcast on the same night. Everybody else will get it either on Monday or Tuesday. So subscribe to that. Mikey, Dante, anything y'all want to say before we get up out of here?
Bear down.
Bear down.
Let's go Braves.
All right, man. We will holler at y'all on Monday. We up out of here, man. I'm not going to hold you.
Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna